so.
Okay. Here it is, February 14th, Valentine's Day, 1996. We're sitting around the table in Maxine Dillman's kitchen, and we're just shooting the bull.
And people, somehow or other, the other day we didn't put on there the year Mother was born.
Yeah, we're talking about our parents, Mom and Dad Sorensen, for posterity. And they were both born the same day, November 28th, 1891.
The same age.
Same age, right, which is very unique. And so we're just discussing some things we remember growing up in Ord, Nebraska, 1915 N Street.
And don't you forget it.
Right. Zip is 68862, I think.
What that, yeah, that, and the phone number was 426, remember?
426
Yeah.
what?
Well, in those days, there was just 426, that was the number.
That was it?
Yeah. Then when they got sophisticated, then they had to.
Yeah.
And their license plate was always 426.
That's when you could order your license
Yeah.
plate, whatever number you wanted. Yeah. Valley County, number 47.
What's number 47?
Valley County in Nebraska.
It's the 47th county?
That was the
Oh,
county
that's the
designation.
Yeah, that's right.
Number 47. So every Sunday night when we took a car ride, remember?
Yeah.
Out in the country,
Yeah.
we'd see another car, and Mom or Dad would say, "There's 47 such and such." We'd have this little,
Oh, that's
we had this little catalog. We'd look them up and see who it was.
And wave to them. We had to wave to everybody. You know?
Oh yeah, everybody waved.
Whether you knew them or
There wasn't
not.
that many to wave to.
But you knew them anyway. It wasn't whether you knew them or not. Yeah.
Drive past all the farms.
Check the coal, Asia, Keel.
Asia, Keel.
You had to go out and check that. And that was probably
Coles.
2 miles from our house. But
Yeah.
it seemed like that was
South of town. Coles lived right next door, really.
But that was on Sunday night, you're saying? But
Every Sunday night.
All right, was it, when did we get to go swimming? We went over what?
It was
Friday?
during the weekday.
Well, that Friday nights, I guess. Huh?
Well, I thought during the week.
Well, Friday's during the week.
Yeah, but I thought maybe
Oh,
it could have been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. That's because Dad's the only one who took us. Mom never went swimming.
Oh, no, oh, no. Hillersville. You're right. He'd take the Munns,
Munns,
and that'd be Charlene, Phyllis, and
Gerda, Charles,
yeah.
and well, that was a carload right there.
Yes. They had 4, and we had 3.
Yeah, but I don't remember Don.
I don't remember
Going
Don
in,
so much
'cause he
either.
was too young.
Oh, he was too young.
Yeah.
Maybe their youngest one was too.
Huh?
Maybe their youngest one
Yeah,
was
it could have been Gerda.
Yeah, that was exciting. Yes, we did put on our swim caps. We had some girls in
In
our
that
swim.
muddy
Then we go in the muddy river.
Loop River.
Yeah. We had a certain parking spot there.
Yeah, down the island, Anderson Island.
And then one time Charles Munn got in trouble.
I thought that was Charlene.
I thought it was Charles.
Yeah,
Dad had to jump in for it.
had to jump in and got in that we call it quicksand.
Yeah. Well, we had inner tubes. Didn't we take inner tubes too? I mean, it was a big deal when we went there. Yeah, we had inner tubes.
Did we?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the river was blocked off with some string or something, so we could tell how far we could go.
Well, we weren't supposed to go on the far side
No.
because that's where the current was the swiftest, and it was always shifting the bottom.
That was a big deal.
Somehow, yeah, big deal.
That was our one. That was a big pleasure.
Oh yeah, that was swimming in the river.
Mm-hmm. We were big shots.
Then we grew up, we went swimming in the irrigation ditches. That was muddier yet.
It's like Barb is a good swimmer. And they got to go, in Iowa, they got to go to swimming, to a real swimming pool every day in the summer. And of course, Barb is a lot younger than me.
Yeah.
Barb is, she's maybe 40 now. So that'd be 30 years later.
Yeah. We didn't have swimming pools when we grew up. We didn't even have, all we had at home was turn on the hose and run through it.
Or we could sprinkle our sheets at night.
Sprinkle sheets to keep cool.
If it was our turn to have the south window.
Well, the south door.
Exposure, yeah, south door.
And just off the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then
What we step on underneath, what was underneath there?
Those cushions on the sofa.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
And then a sheet, yeah. And then we could spread out with
And then the second best got the north door, the front door.
Yes, that was good. And
Yeah.
a fan. It seemed like we had a fan too
On
the floor.
Like a gray bar.
Yeah, one of those little
Big black
Yeah.
gray bar fans.
Sometimes you guys got to sleep outside. I don't think I had to sleep outside.
Yeah, we slept outside both times.
With ants.
Dad slept out with his
With ants.
ants, bugs.
We didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't know the difference.
Yeah.
That was our protein in those days.
Now. Or you know what, when you're talking about bugs, I'm thinking one day when I learned how to drive, we got to go down south of town, out by Heels, and a grasshopper got in the car. We had a lot of grasshoppers. And I just threw up my hands. Here I am driving, learning to drive. Just threw up my hands and let the car go. And somebody had to jump in and grab the wheel. And
Yeah,
I think you got the grasshopper out of the car. Oh, I had a fit.
I know. I remember once when we went to Woodski's, and way out in the sand hills, and it was either that or we were going to Uncle John's out to his farm, and the grasshoppers were so bad.
How bad were they?
Let me tell you.
That was good. Well, he was. Yeah.
They covered. This was during the Depression. They covered the phone poles. They covered the wires. They covered the roads. It was just like crunch, 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 crunch.
Oh.
And of course, you couldn't roll your window down.
No. They ate up everything in the crops, all the corn.
Yeah. And I remember going down to the fairgrounds, and the farmers, they had a poison they'd mix with some
tobacco.
sweet.
There was tobacco in there too, I remember.
Well,
something sweet, yes, you're right.
Yeah, they put a kind of a syrup in there and mix up this poison.
Yes.
And we'd put it in gunny sacks and give it to the farmers. Those were bad.
Those were the days. Do you realize what we went through? But I presume that in the days of the Mormons, those weren't called grasshoppers, that was the locusts.
Yeah. But the locusts are different than grasshoppers.
Are they?
As we know. Locusts were usually bigger in the center, and they had bigger wings.
They were more flying, and the grasshoppers were more hopping.
Yeah.
And then we go out and look and see how they ruined the crop. But you see, the grasshoppers just came in like, they weren't there every year. It just seemed like, they skip every year, it seemed like it.
Yeah, they're just special years. But I remember that, I can remember very distinctly that time we drove out there. Man, and now they call them a delicacy.
Who does? Well, the movie stars or divas. Chocolate grasshoppers on a can. Ew.
Well, a lot of places they just roast them and serve them as hors d'oeuvres.
gourmet shops.
We could have made $1 million bucks.
Yeah.
But we never went hungry.
No, we didn't.
Not that we
Ate
ate grasshoppers.
Okay, because I remember when there were 5 of us, a family, and we got by the $26 a month on groceries.
How do you know that?
Well, because I remember that. I remember those
You
days.
remember that?
Yes, yes. Because we'd go to that little grocery store. Who was that? That grocery store?
Hawks? No, the Drapers.
Yeah, but it's down there on the highway.
Yeah, Drapers.
Yeah, I remember when I came back and yes, I had, and that probably when I was in high school, not high school, but maybe freshman.
No, you weren't in high school.
I was old enough to remember that, that, and remember they had that little book that she wrote down every penny, she spent. That little,
I don't
little
recall
black
it, but I'm
book
sure
that-
she did.
Bread was what, 9 cents or something like that.
Yeah. Probably cheaper than that.
Probably was, yes. Because I remember a few years later, cookies were 3 pounds for 29 cents. Because that's when I worked in the dime store. So I would be a sophomore then.
Which dime store did you work at? One on the north side? By the meat market?
It was by Penny. It seemed like Penny's was next door because all the guys worked at Penny's, and we'd go down the basement and knock and say hi to them with their wallet. Sprouts, something.
That didn't ring a bell.
Sprouts. It seemed like it was 2 names at that dime store that I worked in. I
Huh.
remember the candy corn. I remember right where everything was. The peanuts. The mice would get the peanuts. But boy, that was an honor when you got to work the candy. That was a biggie.
Why? Because you got to eat some?
Well, sure.
Without paying?
And that was just the best department in the whole store.
Without paying?
Without paying. Without.
You got some of the candy without paying?
Well, sure. Yes.
Oh my.
And the nuts. Yes.
Well, we had all that.
The candy corn and the nuts.
Why would you want that when we had all that stuff at the
Well,
drugstore?
that was later. See, that was later. That later we got into the chocolate. The mother baking was Hershey chocolates.
Oh.
No, this was when we were really kids. Vernon Hebel, who worked next door. Penny's.
He worked there?
Yeah.
Oh, at Penny's.
Yeah, that was really my first job.
How old were you?
I have to stop and think about it. I was in the 9th or 10th grade. I think it was in the 9th grade. So I graduated in 43. So I'd be...
39.
Yes.
Pre-war.
Yes. Oh yeah, because war was, the year I graduated was 43.
The war, you mean, that was during the war. The war started in 41.
Oh yes, but I mean our kids were old enough. I mean, the boys were old enough to go to Omaha for the draft, and they came back and told us about, and we'd gather around. They'd tell us about these awful people that drank beer. These other boys that were signed up for the draft, and we sat there, with our mouths open. Yes.
Little did they know.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Did you have any classmates killed in the war?
No, not more.
Really? That's it.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know, because I left there in 43. I don't know if any that were. They were probably the country kids.
Yeah.
We didn't know them that well. I'm talking about the city kids. Were the ones that we gathered around. It was Doris Kalima and Elizabeth Wanda, Darlene Carlson, Maxine Gilman, and it seemed like Miller. What was her name? Mary Miller.
Mary?
Yes, and then we had the guys were Vernon Hebel, Bill
Well,
Buffet.
Mary was older than you, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
How come she was at your group?
I don't know. But she got in it. Because she was 1 year older, so she was only in it, probably her senior year. Okay, we had Bill Fafeta, Ray Bogotans, Charles Thompson. He wasn't he wasn't a native, but we accepted him.
Yeah.
And he's one of the 5 that had to go to check in the draft. And Charles Thompson died then. Now, not in the war. He had a swimming accident.
Yeah.
And I think Ray Bogotans did too. Wasn't he a swimming accident?
Yeah.
He broke his neck diving in that swimming pool.
And then Bill Fafeta died of a car accident. None in the war.
Huh.
That I know died. They'd be like I think you guys had more of the country kids more at school. I don't think we had many country kids when I was in school.
All the country kids came to our high school, didn't they, when you were in school?
Audrey Cole had her own school right out there, see?
Yeah, but she taught.
No, when Audrey was going to school.
Going to school.
And Louetta Keel was like a year younger, but hers, see, that school they went to was a bigger country school than a lot of them, and those kids stayed in till almost they were seniors. They stayed in the country school.
Now they're talking about they want to go back to this.
Country school?
Yeah.
Is that
Because they
right?
got a better.
I thought they were all considered having graduated in your class, though.
Yeah, well, but they came to town when they got to be juniors. Then they could drive, see, and then they could drive back and forth. Otherwise, they were in their country schools. I remember Audrey and Louetta, and there were a bunch of them that came in when they were juniors or seniors, when they were old enough to properly drive. And Bill Novosad. And I'm trying to think who else.
Yeah, it seems like some of the country
But
kids.
our group that I was talking about were just the little city kids. The 4 or 8 of us.
It seemed like the country kids in my class didn't come into later. Didn't come into school till later. I never thought of that. Of course, some of them, the Catholics, they went. I don't know when that Catholic school opened.
It was after you got out of
graduated.
school, yeah. Because
Was that after? Oh,
yeah,
yes, I think
because it wasn't open when I was in school. Because most of my friends were Catholic, including my boyfriend.
Well, see, we didn't have the city kids like the ones I just named, Mary Miller, and they was all Presbyterian or Methodist. You're right. And those are the kids that had come in that lived in the city, see, when they were juniors and seniors.
Yeah, they had to live there.
Because that's why Mother had, those people down there in the basement, too.
Yeah.
See, all of the, I don't know when this happened, but we had a lot of country kids in our class, but they came in earlier, some of them in junior high.
Well, a lot of them had their own cars in, didn't
I was going to say, I think they had special permission, didn't they, when they were not old enough for a driver's license, they had to go to school. I think they did.
I remember Uncle John driving his kids every day.
And this friend of mine that lives here now, she started in the 6th grade. She had an older brother who would have been, but he would have been in junior high. I didn't think he would have been 16 in junior high.
No, I think they had a special permit to drive.
I think they did too.
Country to the school.
Because her brother was only a couple years older than she was, so he was in junior high.
Well, we got by with a lot of things in those days, didn't we? Oh, well, even in Don's day, even later, look at Don. He was able to get a job when he was like 13 or 14 at the Dairy Queen and all. And I think Dennis was Well, I don't think Dennis was 16. It's, you know, maybe he was just barely 16 when he got a job at the car dealers. So it seems to me like two of our kids weren't even old enough to drive. That's why they rode the bike back for to work to the Dairy Queen. Nowadays, what they have to be a senior or out of college almost for them to get a job. Seems like 18, isn't it? Isn't that the age now? Mm-hmm.
What, a job?
Yeah.
I don't know what the rules are.
I don't either.
It's so many rules anymore you can't keep track of.
Mm-hmm.
We would have gone hungry if we had to wait that long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, talking about things like that, I was thinking tonight when I went outside, you were listening to Graham's speech, and then Dole's, and I was thinking when I went outside, I thought, I just still like that Graham, I really do. I don't like to watch him speak, and he was really good with his, his speech today or yesterday when he quit the race. That's what I was listening to when he went out there. That was really good. Because I don't think I think I'd stand up there and cry. I think if I lost that election.
Oh, they get thick-skinned over that.
Well, and they're men.
After so many years.
They're men too. They're not.
You're not talking about. Do you want that tape running while you're talking about other things?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, and I changed it too. Well, I don't care. Who cares? Okay.
They can always fast forward.
Yeah, get used to it. That's what that article I've been looking for, said. That's part of being old. Or I think go from one thing to another. Okay, you want to get back to Ord, Nebraska?
Oh, well, I don't know. I thought that's what you were doing tonight.
Yeah. Well, that'll be whoever's problem it is to edit it. That's what they do. You have to edit it.
Well, I remember growing up sometimes. And we had a loving family, I'm sure.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, in those days, we'd never heard of families that were
Well, that's right. That was such thing as dysfunctional family. If there were, you never heard of them.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, do you know what I think of a lot? Now, we used to play hide and seek every night, but did I mention that the other night? Did I?
No.
Okay, I think of that. I think of us playing baseball or softball in the street, in front of the house. Yeah. And first base and second base, and it wasn't out to the pitcher. And but I really think of that hide and seek an awful lot.
Well, we had a lot of good games.
As you said, Monopoly, we had Monopoly.
No, I mean when all the kids at night would get together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, not only in our block, but
on
that whole side of town.
Yeah.
We'd have 20, 30, sometimes 40 kids. Yeah. And one good game was Can Off for All, which is kind of like hide and seek.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Can Off for All.
Yeah.
Or Chalk the Rabbit, when one group would get a head start and they'd have to use chalk, go all over town.
Yes.
And make signs.
Yeah.
So they.
Well, you guys were more sophisticated than we were.
Oh yes, we were high tech.
Well, and you were.
We had chalk. Colored chalk.
Yeah. Well, you were high tech when you were talking about you and the boys sitting around talking about how much each.
Yeah, right. We didn't have calculators, but we could add 2 and 2. Or 9 and 9.
Yeah.
9 cents loaf of bread, 9 cents quart of milk. And then we used to go over to Stoddard's, and they lived down in the corner. And they had this big barn, and they used it for a garage.
Yes.
And play and throw the ball over.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be 20, 30 people.
Well, there were how many children in that family? Weren't there 5 children in there at that family? The Stoddards?
Yeah. 4 or 5.
Yeah, there were a lot of them, yes. But yeah, that was good to get them on you.
But see, all ages would get together.
Yeah,
From little ones up to the
yes.
big kids. Of course, the little kids thought that was great.
And it didn't bother us that we had to take our little brother and sister,
No,
didn't in our head, the thing.
no.
They were part of it.
Then I remember when we grew up a little and we'd venture out in the country, up south of town there, like Suicide Hill and
Yes.
up on the reservoir. And we'd choose sides and we'd throw clods at one another.
Yes.
Had these swords we made.
Oh, it sticks you.
Yeah. And then when we really got bad is when we got BB guns. We used to go out and have BB gun fights. And that got a little serious.
But
The rule was you couldn't shoot at anybody above their head, or their shoulders. But sometimes the aim wasn't that good.
Well, who paid for these BBs? I didn't know you guys could afford them.
Well, this was later on when we were
I
older.
see.
We would swipe money or whatever. I don't know where we got it. I mean, you could buy 250 BBs for a few pennies.
Well, I know, but who had the pennies? Well, I guess, as I say, I guess in your day.
We ran the race.
Oh, that's right, Muncie.
I don't know how we got money those days. We certainly didn't have any allowance. Did you ever get an allowance?
Yes.
You did?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How come you got an allowance and I
Well,
didn't get
because when you played piano, you got a penny allowance a week.
Well, I didn't play piano.
Yeah, so we got a penny a week. And one time, Bill Fafeda used to get more than a penny. And he sort of scoffed at the teacher, or all of us, because we were still the penny level, and he was a bigger shot.
I remember in the summer when it get hot, we'd all get together and just kind of hang around. And somebody would say, let's go down and get an ice cream cone or something. And nobody had any money. And I remember going to Randolph's. What was his name? Ted Randolph?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or Dick Satterfield. And they always had money. They always had a nickel, They'd go buy a big bottle of ginger ale or something. And tease us kids,
You poor people.
I said, oh man, if I could just have a bottle of that ginger ale.
Yeah. I still think it's really interesting the difference in the 4 years. Of course, we're talking about boys and girls.
Yeah.
And 4 years difference. See, that's interesting. Your thoughts. Well, of course, you were probably a big shot too because you already had a bike.
That's where I got my money. I had paper routes.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, I had two paper routes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was a big shot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'd want to go see the show Saturday afternoon. Cost a dime.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Mom, can I see the movie? She said, yeah. I said, will you loan me a dime? She said, no. So I'd have to go around and try to collect. These people, they'd see me coming, and they'd draw the shade, So all I want's a dime so I can go move,
But that's the dime was $1 million.
Yeah.
Well, how much were the papers? How much were you trying to collect?
I think they were a dime a week.
Ooh. And the paper was what, the quiz? You did the quiz? And
No, I did the
Omaha.
Omaha and the Grand Island
I
paper.
see. Oh, I see.
Was that a daily paper at that time?
Yeah, 7 days a week. Except the Grand Island paper was 5 days, I think.
And that was
That
after
was the evening, yeah.
And the Omaha paper was in the morning.
Yeah. Oh man, those morning papers, you know how big they are?
Yeah. Well, when you're a little kid.
A little kid,
on a bike.
I'd drive by Mortensons with those two chow dogs.
Yeah, they were
I'll
big.
never forget this long they lived. They had this big porch, and Carol Mortensen, she said, "You deliver that paper in that screen door." I said, "Oh no," you know. I tiptoe up the steps, you know. Hope the dog wouldn't hear me, you know. And I just get up the screen, and then
Yeah, that was scary. Yes, it was. Those black.
Man, I'd run and try to get on my bike.
Those black-tongued dogs. Remember?
Yeah.
Ooh, yes, that was scary.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they ever had those dogs penned up or not. We were always
No.
We were scared that whole block.
Yeah.
We'd go out
And I don't think they ever bit anyone, but they sure scared me.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
They got hold of my pant leg once.
Yeah.
And here I had this bike, I had all my papers up front, you know, so my bike was stopped in the front, and I was kicking my leg so I could free my leg, and I went like this, you know, and all my papers went, oh man.
And he wouldn't come and help.
No, you never saw
They
him.
were beneath. Yeah.
The same old story, you know, I'd say, oh, they wouldn't hurt you. They won't hurt you.
But people are saying
They won't hurt you, they sure scared
those
me.
dogs that don't hurt sure do bite. To this day they do.
But I can remember tipping up there. I think I'd have fooled, you know. Just get the paper there and you hear those little paws, you know, screeching around the corner.
Yeah, that was scary, that house.
And then, when winter was bad, bad weather, I hated to go out. Come back all muddy.
But you were wealthy. You were not
Yes, I
entrepreneur.
had money when I could collect.
Yes. And is that typical of people those days to pull the blinds down and not answer?
Yeah. I could see him, you know, I could see him pull the shades. I'd stand up there, knock, 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 knock. No answer. I said, I need a dime so I can go to the movie.
Oh, you think you did? You didn't have the nerve to even open your mouth.
Oh, yes, I did. If I wanted to go to a movie.
Oh, really? When you were a kid? With those adults? Oh, really?
Saturday afternoon matinee.
That's another world from my world, I guess. Boys are another world from girls anyway.
Yeah. And then a lot of times in the morning I'd be late with my paper out, especially if the weather's bad. I'd miss my class, and have bad news.
If they told your mother, it was on your report card.
Yeah, but you know what I used to do when I'd get bad grades? I'd come home and it'd be a mud puddle or something.
Yeah, remember that old deal, yeah. But I think we've all been through that. Yes, yeah.
Smudge the grade up.
Yes.
Well, Mom, it just blew out of my hand.
Did your kids ever do that to you?
Well,
recall.
they all had good grades except Paul, and all we got there was those pink slips.
Oh, well,
Except from the
Don used to do that to us even when he was in high school.
This is junior high, high school. But I was bad in high school. Well, all of us were bad because we thought we was going to have to go to war. So what the heck, we're going to have fun. And the teachers kind of expected it. We used to go in, we'd be cutting up in one of the classes, and the teacher sent us to Fred Stoddard, the principal, you know. And he said, come on in, boys. This is the third time this week, you know. He said, what do you think of pheasant season? I said, well, I think they're pretty good, Fred. We told him Fred.
Yeah.
He said, "You think it'd be better than last year?" And I said, "I don't know." And of course, come pheasant season, and everybody skipped school and went out.
Yeah.
We'd spend a whole hour in on Fritz, and he wouldn't say one thing about why we were there.
He was a good principal, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was good. And our superintendent was what, Thompson?
Thompson, C.C. Thompson.
Oh, we never did get to know him well.
No, he was
way above that.
Yeah. He was in another stratosphere. Nobody got to see him. Nobody got past the secretary.
You're right. We wouldn't want to. That'd be.
See, in those days, we had a superintendent of school, and I think the principal. Did they have a principal in the grade school? I don't think they did. So we had one superintendent, we had one principal, we had one secretary, we had one janitor for each school, and that was it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
No cafeteria, you brought your own food, no bus service, no nurses, no counselors, and then they wonder why our taxes were sky high.
Now kids get breakfast at school.
Yeah.
And lunch, and then
lunch.
They have to stay till what, 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
If their parents work.
Transportation, nurses, counselors, vice principals, secretaries for each one. Wow.
But there are a lot of children in each classroom too nowadays.
Well, I'm sure the schools are bigger. But it just seemed like the staff had just exploded.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Now they're signing full-time policemen to schools.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Which is sad.
Mm-hmm. But those kids bring more than BB guns to school.
Yeah.
And knives.
Yes, but I always chummed around with Roger Miller.
Yeah.
And he was always getting in trouble. It was just like almost like we egged him on, just to get him in trouble.
Yeah.
And they were always calling his parents. And, Zona didn't like that at all. And Doc Miller, he was rough, man.
Yes.
We used to go up there and play poker all night in Doc Miller's game room. And he'd come in 2, 3 in the morning after surgery or something, and he'd look at us guys in there, and we were drinking beer and playing poker. He'd just shake his head. He says, "I don't think none of you are going to be worth a hoot." He'd use a little stronger language than that. And I asked Roger, so what did he mean? Well, he told me later. He worked his way through med school and all the way. He was a farm boy, so. But he thought we were worthless.
Yes.
But we learned how to play poker real well.
I guess you did.
Yeah.
Now, see, we were as a girl, we were in our neighbors' basements learning to dance and things like that. We didn't have to learn those things you guys had to learn.
Oh, we went to dances too. A lot of dances. Every weekend. And then they had that hall downtown.
Yes, yeah. Bohemian Hall.
Well, there was several places they had it. And they had volunteers for chaperones who'd come in.
Well, let's see, there was a place that we could dance that was at PEO's or something like that too. Easter Star. That basement there.
The basement?
Yeah.
And there was a place across the street they had that one time.
I thought
Mom used to go down
that
there.
was the Bohemian Hall.
No, that's
The block further.
yeah.
What was that? What was the name of that place? I don't remember.
Are you talking about the circular building?
Yes.
It was American
Oh,
Legion.
American Legion. Yeah. Mhm.
I remember Mom used to volunteer and she'd spend,
Chaperone,
yeah,
yeah.
several nights down there. Good game,
Yeah.
soft drinks,
Mhm.
dancing.
Mhm. Keep our kids on the right track.
Yeah. We didn't, I don't think until we were seniors that we started messing around with the alcohol. And it wasn't serious, it wasn't that bad. Huh?
No, you're right. We were good kids.
Yeah, compared to,
Well, but you know, like Don says too, remember when our class were kids, to go to St. Paul or someplace, the band, Broken Bow, I would worry about, and Don tells us this really, really true, I'd worry about going to the drugstore and ordering whether it be a malt or a soda, and I had to learn the difference before we could go like to Broken Bow. That was ours. Then with Don's generation, they had to learn the difference between bourbon and scotch and gin. Then the next generation was pot,
cocaine or,
mhm.
yeah, drug
Mhm.
scene.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what level they can escalate to the next. Yeah, maybe we'll swing back the old way.
They do what?
Maybe we'll swing back to,
Bird dreamer.
those were good days.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, these kids probably think their days were good days.
Yeah.
They probably like their music.
Yeah,
They like their music. And
this singing group I belong to now, we sing all those old 1940,
yeah.
32. Of course, the people that listen to us, they can relate to that,
Yes,
sing.
yeah.
And we can relate to it too.
Yes, we had Moon River. That was a good one.
Oh yeah.
No, that was my Grand Island days. See, that was not my old days.
No nerve.
Yeah. Big paper doll. That was a big deal.
Oh yeah. You know Susie. And,
Oh, Itsy Bitsy. Now, see, that was the
Itsy
high
Bitsy.
school days.
yeah.
That was the starter days. We'd go to that Itsy
Yeah.
Bitsy.
That's Kate Kaiser.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, you beautiful doll. And,
I want a gal just like the
I
gal.
want to go.
But that was more. I think that was more the war. You know, but that was more my Grand Island. The bass.
That's all we sing. Those people, these old songs.
Yeah. That was when I had to change my name to spelling. I think I changed the spelling of my name should be M-A-E. I think I changed it to M-A-Y.
You did?
Yeah, on my sheet music and all. It was a big shock.
First of the name changes.
Yeah. Well, name tags. See, nowadays they color their hair, or the next generation. But no, ours was changing our name, the spelling.
So, I guess when we were growing up, the wild things that happened, or the risque things was, I remember when Satterfield committed suicide. Were you in Ordnance?
Yes. Well, no, I don't know if it was an organ, but I know what you're talking.
That was a big thing.
Yes. All right. Well, let's stop and think. How grade were you in then?
I don't recall.
See, I don't either, so I probably was not an org then, but I remember that happened.
Yeah, you might have gone by then. Because I think Dick, the son, was in high school. He was a year ahead of me.
Yeah.
And I can remember, didn't Dad sit in on a jury? It was a homicide, car accident or something. And I can't, that's all I remember. Remember that at all?
Yes. Yes.
Was he on the jury?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in high school, when he took a trip to California, because he had these nieces there, the good-looking nieces, that Grace Sorensen, remember, and that lived over at
Provo.
Yes, no, that main town this side of
Oh,
Provo.
Irwin.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Grace Sorensen was there in California. And they had several good. Grace, and what was the other guy?
They had 3 daughters.
Yes, and they were all good looking.
Yeah.
But anyway, he had to go there for some property or something. And he came back and he was telling us about the freeways, how they would broadcast on radio, but streets weren't so busy.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
Now that would be if I graduated high school in '43, that could have been in '41 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a big deal.
Yeah, all I can remember is him leaving on the train. I think Mom told me he had to go down to the bank and borrow some money to make the trip.
To California?
Yeah. And probably, as for his sister's funeral,
Yeah.
he probably had to. Why does this play go into? We're talking about our mom, Mina Sorensen, while we were growing up, and some of the things we remember about her, and my dad, Carl. So we'll continue and pick up our trips to Canada and California with Mom. You went to California. How'd you go, by train?
No, well, I guess we must have.
You don't know what
Yeah.
year, huh?
No, I don't think we went by train. Well, we could have gone by plane. I know it was when I was in school, so it was between '43 and when I got married in '46. So it was probably around then. She wanted to go to Regina, Saskatchewan, to
Canada.
To check on some property that Dad had there. And
so you went to California and then to Canada?
No, we went to. I don't know which one we went first.
Oh.
But anyway, because this is really funny. When we went to Canada, as I say, I was out of high school and all, and so we stopped first in a large. Was Regina the large town there before we went to see the farms? What was it? What?
That's Regina.
Okay, yes, yeah. That's it. Okay, Regina.
That was the capital, I believe.
And most of the people there talked French. And so it was a pretty big town. We had a nice hotel room. And this guy, I don't know if he was in the service. I think he was in the service. He had on a uniform. While Mother and I were eating in the dining room of the hotel, he came up and asked if I would go out that night to a movie or something. And so, no, I think Mother was up in a room. And he came up to me and said in the hotel lobby, would you like to go out tonight? So I ran up to the room to ask Mother, and of course she said no. And I was just dying to go out with this guy. So I do think we went someplace, well, with Mother probably. We never did get to go to a movie. And I remember I was just out of high school, and boy, I sure wanted to have a date with that guy. But that was hard for me to have to ask her if I could go. And how stupid of me, just to pick up some guy in some country that I didn't even know. And I thought I could go on the date.
But you're out of the country, so
yeah. And too, I was at the, that was the beginning of the war, or around that time. And no, I was, you know, I just thought I could do anything because I'd been living in Grand Island alone or without mother, you know, to kowtow
Yeah.
to.
You must have gone by train then, huh?
Yes, I think we did, yes.
Uh-huh.
And then we also went by train when we went to California.
Did you?
But most of the things I remember about Saskatchewan was it was in the fall and it was beautiful. It wasn't too cold, and of course Regina is so pretty to be in a foreign country.
I remember all the flowers in Regina.
Yes, just beautiful, beautiful, just belting. And then we went to these little dirt farms, which were interesting. You know, the people that had the farms that Dad had owned, and Mother went to collect rent or something. Or I think they went up there every year. Dad went every year, didn't he?
He went quite often,
in the fall. Yes.
But when we went up in September 1950, we rented a car, and Don went with us, our brother went with us, and I remember how far it was up to the border through the Dakotas, which was pretty barren, and then at the border, I remember the guard kept asking us if we had any cameras or firearms. We had cameras, which we declared, and we didn't have any firearms. But then when we got to Canada, I remember the rolling hills.
Yes.
And
yes, beautiful farmland.
Beautiful farmland, and then Regina, I remember it being so pretty. All the flowers. Gee. And I guess we must stay in motels or hotels. I remember going out to the farms and talking to these people. Very polite. And, but they were all English. And they served us tea in the afternoon, which I thought was strange.
Yes, yes, it was proper.
Tea and
they were so
pastry, and very proper, very polite.
Bilingual.
Yeah.
They were all bilingual.
Yeah. That's about all I remember.
Well, what about when you came back across the border? I remember that we had to do something with our money. We couldn't. It seemed like they didn't want us to bring Canadian money back.
Yeah, I think we could only bring so much.
And that was a big hassle. I remember. Yes.
You can only bring so much back.
Yes.
But as I remember, the exchange rate is about the same then as it is now. Which, hard to believe.
Yes, after how many, well, in 1950 you said yes.
50, yeah. That's 45 years.
Isn't that funny? I don't remember whether we must have gone by train, yes.
I think you went.
Because I know when we went to California, we went by train because I slept all the way. You know, like 18 or 20 years old, and Mother was disappointed because she wanted to show me the minute we came to the orange groves and you know how pretty it was. Well, I slept, when I say I slept all the way, which is disappointing to her because here she has me there and she's so proud of the orange groves and you know, beautiful California.
Where did you go to California?
Well, we went to when?
Why?
Well, to check up on
it might have been Dad's sister.
Yes, and
Yeah.
and then those
Whether
cousins,
there's any
those
claims or
good-looking cousins, those good-looking gals, and then probably it seemed like there was some money involved there too. She had to settle, and maybe she had to settle with his sister.
Yeah, with any
What was her name?
heirs. I thought it was Mary.
Yeah, I
Mary
thought it was
so-and-so.
Mary too. Yes.
Mary's heirs. Mary died, I think.
Oh,
Dad was alive, yeah.
Oh.
But I remember in Canada, the end result was, with all the land Dad owned up there, that the end result was they had what they called a board of reconcilers or something, but it was made up of the farmers whose property was in question. And of course, everybody know how they were going to, how they were going to rule.
They were going to rule for the.
They'll rule for themselves,
yeah,
right?
Sure.
And after many, many, many years of legal,
Yes.
Mom had a full-time lawyer up there and a full-time lawyer in Nebraska.
Yes, and every day that was traumatic.
Yeah. And I forgot what she got out of it.
Probably minimal.
Pittance,
Yes, compared to what it was.
But those were big trips in those days.
Yes. Well, for us, it was a big deal. Because we weren't that used to, we weren't traveling, the traveling type anywhere. We didn't get to. Well, what do you mean it was a big deal? I slept all the way?
Well, I think I drove, let's see, I was probably, I was 21. And Don was 5, and Don would have been 16. I don't remember if he drove or not. But I know I had to go down to Lincoln to see the Attorney General and get permission to leave the country because I was number 1 on the draft list. And he wasn't going to give me permission. I finally convinced him that this was strictly a business deal. My mother needed me and all that. He said, all right. He said, I'll give you 2 weeks. He said, be back here in 2 weeks or else we'll send out an APO on you.
Or what were the police called with the service and
MPs.
military? Yeah,
MPs,
yeah.
Because we were in wartime.
Yes.
So I think most of my mind was focused on that rather than the trip.
Yes.
Well, yeah, memories. Then you had a couple notes here
On that trip?
No,
Oh.
you had just Canada.
But it doesn't say anything about, it doesn't say, to mention anything. I can't think of anything extraordinary. I just thought, I didn't realize until maybe many, many years later how fortunate we were to, done that.
Yeah, I always thought I'd like to go back there and see that country. We did, they did point out a little, looked like a little shed that was about ready to fall over where my grandfather and grandmother had lived up there. One of the farmers took us out there and showed us that.
Yes, I remember that too. But Gordon, why don't you mention something about how Dad used to go up there every year and the letters you found that he had written, Mother?
Yeah.
Or did you mention that? Oh,
No, I didn't mention.
I think that was interesting. That when you went through the papers, how
some were written before they were married.
yes, and how children, offspring never think that their parents, in love,
are in love and all, yeah.
Yeah. And so it was interesting. Those letters were good.
Yeah, they were love letters.
And you probably still have them, I'm sure.
I think they're in that suitcase, but I started to read one and I felt quite guilty because it was
personal.
Very personal between two lovers, and so I stopped reading it.
But that's a shame. I guess we should even brought one along to read it on this deal because, as you said, as we say, you never think your parents go, but how they felt about each other and all. It was the letters were good, long, don't you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Well, of course, you didn't make long distance phone calls to somebody then, so he was gone like 6 weeks or something, wasn't he? Every fall.
Yeah, I think he was before they were married. I think he was gone much longer than that.
Yes.
Go up and work and.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Forgot about those.
But yes, I thought that was interesting, and somebody will too.
You'll have to
That's sort of like that movie, The Bridge of Madison County.
Oh, we didn't see it.
Well, I know, but I mean, those kids after their parents died, they were reading the letters. And that's how it got started. Oh, what is this? Oh, something for me to, notes for me.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Okay, now this says in 1975, Mother was great on football. You know, when
She's
you're from
Nebraska.
Nebraska, that's all they have.
That's,
You have to be
what
great on
else is
football.
there?
Yeah. So she came down to visit us, and I wrote here in 1975. Well, it must have been. So that'd be when we moved back in this house, and ASU was playing Nebraska at the Fiesta Bowl that day. And so Mother and Pete made a bet. Of course, Pete was for ASU, and Mother, of course, was for Nebraska. I don't even remember what it was, $1 or something. I don't remember. And that day, it was. I think it was on Thanksgiving, and Pete and I went for a ride that day, and listened to the game on the radio. And she was listening to it here and stayed with the kids. No, we didn't have any kids then. Or anyway, that can't be then. But maybe she was with us on the ride. But as it turned out, as the game ended, we were back there at the house, and she cried because ASU won. And Pete said to me, and then she really cried. This was really traumatic, just like I do when I lose it when my team loses. And Pete said, "Darn it, if I know she would be so upset, I'd rather have Nebraska win." And the ASU, that really bothered him because he'd never been around and he would have cried.
I remember that game because that's when I was a diehard Nebraska fan, and I got so upset I went home. It was a work day.
Oh, you were in New Year's. Remember that was no, I thought it was Thanksgiving. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Anyway, I remember going home and I was really upset.
Going from Lincoln to
No, I went from my store to my house.
Oh, okay, okay.
And I was really upset, emotionally wrecked.
Yes.
And I think Peter, you called me,
Probably.
if I'm not mistaken.
It
was just like rubbing my nose in.
Well, I was going to say, we probably said, what do we do about your mother? She cried.
Maybe that was it. You wanted to know.
No, but it was probably Pete rubbing your nose. Yeah, you sure.
Because Nebraska was a heavy favorite.
Yes.
Yeah. And those little cactus kids just whipped their butt.
Yes. Little desert,
Yeah.
kids.
Little desert rats.
You know what? Another thing when we're talking about Pete with his desert, I always think of when we were visiting in Ord. Pete and I slept downstairs.
Yeah.
And then that made our bedroom downstairs right over Mother's bedroom. Because her bed was out of ours. And we just dreaded her getting up in the morning because the minute her feet hit that floor, it was like thunder was going on in the house. And Pete called her his little mouse, because her feet, when they go pat 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 pat, so this one pat 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 pat, and I say she sounded like a little mouse up there. And I'd say, "No, Mother, don't get up early in the morning because that wakes us up." But she wouldn't. She thinks she was quiet. So
yeah.
She just barely sneaked out of bed.
Well, we slept upstairs, so I remember every morning she'd get the sweeper out.
Oh, probably, yes.
I don't know if it was to wake us up or what.
Well,
but
it wasn't electric. Wasn't that when she had the whistle?
No, this was electric.
Okay.
I remember, yeah.
No wonder Gary gets the sweeper, gets the vacuum out all the time. He got that from her. Did you know?
Every morning.
Oh, yes.
She'd do that.
Yes, I know.
Sweep that whole.
Yeah, yes, and we'd hear it down there, yes. And dust. She dusted every day. And then she probably went out and cleaned the car every day.
Cleaned the car, ate breakfast.
Yes, dusted the car, yes.
Trimmed the grass and clipped the hedge and watered the roses before we even got out.
That's right. Right.
She was a worker.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She told me once, she says, your grandma and I, says, we work like horses.
Yes, that's right.
They did too.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, one time the springs broke, in that bed that Pete and I were downstairs. And
they broke on us too.
And here's Pete, young, girl, the type, could pick up anything. And she gets down there, and he said, let me get that spring. No, I'll do it. And he said he felt like a fool. He'd have to stand back while this little old lady would get that springs back or under the hooks. And that was embarrassing, of course.
Yeah.
But we didn't do anything when we were there in northern Nebraska. Because we were afraid those springs would break. Yeah, because if you moved,
they broke
break.
on us once.
They did?
One's upstairs.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Had to be very careful.
Yes. Yes.
But one night I was in my 40s, and I was home upstairs, and when you know it, here comes Mom creeping up the steps and took out an extra blanket.
Oh, Mr. I wanted to tell that story too, because that's when Leonard Uleta's son died. Their two sons were killed, and you and I went from Denver to Ori, Nebraska.
Yeah.
And I was downstairs in our bed, and you were upstairs in the north room in a good bed. Okay, so in the middle of the night, and here we're all distraught from not from the funeral, but from this awful death that happened in our bed. It was just awful. We couldn't sleep anyway.
Yeah.
And I finally got to sleep around 1 or 2, and then Mother came and woke me up to cover me up. And so I thought, oh God, I just wanted to cry. And so then the next day I said to you, well, Mother came and covered me up during the night. And you said, well, she came and covered me up too. But she came and covered me up first. You said.
She didn't wake me up. At least she didn't think she did.
Yeah. But don't you, you didn't wake up during?
I can't remember I woke up or not, but I remember she was being very quiet.
Yeah. But
just like a little baby.
Well, and just like her little babies came home, and she was so happy, and so pleased to think she felt so good. A typical mother felt so good to think her kids were home, and that was really nice. But that was a horrible trip, just horrible. I remember that was the first traumatic thing that really happened in our family.
That was bad.
Oh, and it seems to me like it was right after. Was that right after Don was killed? Or,
No.
Yes. I think.
No, it was. We had moved to.
Don died.
We moved to Denver. We were in Denver
Oh, that's
for
right. Yes,
2 years.
yes, that's right. You lived there by us, so that was after.
69, 70.
So that would be after Don died.
It was after, yeah. Don died in 57.
Yeah. Because so what I'm
This
thinking.
is 10, 12, 13 years
Okay.
later.
Well, that's what I mean. But I remember when Don died. Being in that north room and with Pete, and I couldn't understand, why Don died and all, and then this death, this family death with Uleta's kids, and oh boy, that was just horrible.
Traumatic.
That was the boys were helping Leonard with the hay or something, and the boys were in one truck.
The boys were in one truck, and
the other boys.
Jim
and
Leonard's 2 boys and Melvin's boy.
Yes, were
was in one truck, and Jim was in the other.
And
they collided.
They met at the top of a hill.
They had fuel, and it just burst into flame.
It was really something for the whole valley. I mean,
The whole valley, yeah.
It was the whole church and everything. Yes, it was awful, because I remember afterwards, even Margaret and Pete both said they should have come too.
Yeah, well.
But they had to stay home with the kids. I remember Margaret stayed home with her kids, and Pete stayed home with her.
You remember flying into Grand Island when right after they had all those tornadoes?
Yes.
And we circled, and I think Grand Island had 7 tornadoes. It just blew that town apart. And then we were driving. I forgot if that was a trip or the trip we went back with Mom in the nursing home. But we'd rented a car. We were driving up to Ord. We took the wrong cut off.
Yes.
Outside of St. Paul.
Yes.
We drove 34
Yeah.
miles, which was night, I think.
Yeah, that was an interesting trip too, because that's hard on kids for put their mother in a nursing home. But I remember pulling into the driveway there, that long driveway, and sitting out there. Yes.
Oh, I think that's one of the hardest things I've ever
Oh yes,
done.
yeah, that was difficult.
Yeah.
I
And
think about that. I still do.
Huh?
I still
do
think
too.
about that. But I'm not sorry we did it. I mean,
I'm not sorry we did it. It's just kind of the way we did it. Of course, we were pressed for time, but
I don't think you can do it any other way when they're not. Well, don't you remember we were fortunate to have Dr. Zlumpwing, her doctor, because he helped us. Don't you remember? He said even before we went there to do it, he said, you can either let her be happy and stay there and then worry about her falling down those steps, and her diet was horrible, just nothing but toast and jelly.
yeah.
You can worry about that, or you'd be happy and have her in a good place. No, I know we had to put her there sometime, but I don't think you ever will find it when somebody gets older like that to take it out of their house. I don't think you'll ever find a good time to do that.
Well, I've talked to people that are ready to go, to a nursing home. And a lot of them aren't. I don't know. That was just a tough thing to do.
Yes, it was tough, and it was tougher for you than it was for me.
But I remember during the winter, she'd call me sometimes every night.
Yes.
And she'd say, "The house is cold." And I said, "Well, what's your thermostat set?" She said, "It's set on this, but it's cold."
80 degrees or something like that. It was up
Yeah.
82, I think it was up there.
Yeah. And she says, "I'm cold. I'm cold." Here you are 500 miles away, and what are you going to do? And then Lucille Tolan called me once or twice and says, "You're just going to have to do something about your mother." Said she's turning on the stove and leaving it on, and going downtown and not being able to get home. So, but it was a tough thing to do. And she adjusted after a while.
Oh yes, they
Yeah.
always do. Well, I remember then we wanted to move to another room or something, and Wayne said, "No, don't do that because the moving them throws them mentally." It's been what we went through there has been really good for me to understand older people and how important it is to have like we had to have pictures, for her, pictures of the family and all. And her roommate was quiet, that she never gave her any problem. So no, I'm not sorry we did that. That was interesting. But yes, that cold. And then remember how I think this is interesting. How even before that, how you and I used to have one of us had to call every other night. And so we decided I got to call. No, you had to call her the odd number of the days on first and third now, and I called her the even number because I figured out there were less even numbers in a month. And yes, and every night we did. Yeah, we got that place to call to her, and that was important to her.
Yeah.
Because they don't remember, from one call to the other.
And then one time I went home and I says, we hadn't sold the house yet. And so I says, "Do you want to take a ride?" And she says, "Sure." So I took a ride around the neighborhood and says, "Here's your old house." I says, "You want to go in?" She said, "Yes." So we went in and went through the whole house.
That's after she was in the nursing home?
Yeah.
Okay.
And just went through the main floor. And I said, "You want to go down the basement?" She said, "No." I said, "You want to go upstairs?" She said, "No." She said, "I want to go back." And I said, "Well, now she's made the break."
That was the first time. Then one time went to take her for a ride and asked her if she wanted to go, and she didn't even want to go by there. Remember?
Yeah, she didn't want to go by.
Yeah.
And then a couple times I just drove past the house and Said, "Do you want to stop?" She said, "No." So it worked out all right.
Yes.
So then, man, I got that house already and put it on the market. And I was out clipping the hedge or something, and this very day, or second day, the realtor, a party stopped. He said, "Is your mom's house on the market?" I said, "Yeah."
They thought where you were where?
Oh, out in the yard. I was out in the yard.
In Ord.
And they wanted to buy it.
Oh.
And I just listed with a broker. And because they knew that house had all that solid oak, solid oak woodwork all the way through. And they wanted that house.
Yeah.
I said, "Well, you're going to have to go through the broker."
And pay him or you.
Pay the commission.
Yeah, one of us has to pay. Yeah. So that happens so often.
I know, and I guess I wasn't that much. I just wanted to get rid of it then.
Yeah. Or we were trying to think today of that lady's name there that helped Mother so much. She was so helpful for her, to even do her checkbook and we go to the bank with her, and after neither one of us were there.
And then that mechanic that always took care of her car.
Yes.
He kept that old car in tip-top shape.
Yes, he did. Mm-hmm.
Well, we got to tell you about Mom and her car washing. Because we had a garage, and she'd buy a brand new car, and she'd keep it for 20 years. but that thing was just immaculate.
Yes,
she'd wash it virtually every day.
And dust it if she didn't wash it.
Yeah. Even though it didn't need it, even though she didn't even take it out of the garage. She'd sprinkle it and wipe it down every day. Mm-hmm. And it was immaculate. One day, she had that new blue Chrysler. And that was a snazzy car. Fluid drive. And I think it was a 51.
That took a couple years for the decision to be made, don't you remember? She messed around with that.
Yeah.
Had to go to all the car dealers
all
and had
car dealers.
Everybody's opinion.
Wanted to best price and
Yeah.
everything. Anyway, I was home on leave, I guess. And I wanted to go down to Lincoln to see some of my old cronies down there at the university. And I think Don was with me. I'm really not sure. Anyway, we went down to Lincoln. We went to a football game. We got a bottle of booze.
Of course.
And I had 3 or 4 of my friends in the car. And the bottle was open.
Ooh.
And it got tipped over.
Yes.
And spilled all over that brand new car.
Oh, you're kidding. You're kidding.
So it was, I remember it was very cold. And so I got all kinds of deodorants, scrubbed it.
I bet the whole school had to help you to scrub it.
Yeah. And come the day I had to go home, and it's still a pungent odor, alcohol odor. So I drove all the way home, freezing, with those.
With the windows open to get
with
the
the windows wide open.
Yeah.
And I thought sure she detected, but as I recall, she never mentioned it.
Well, you know why?
That was a big word.
What year was that about?
Well, it had to be in the early 50s, because I think I was home on leave.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, then in my time, which is 43 to 46, I borrowed a car one day, and I lived in Grand Island. And so on the way home, all my friends had to be in the car with me, of course, because we had this car. And so we stopped by St. Paul and got all this beer, and we had beer. And then when we got to Ord, Aunt Bertie was there with Mother. Well, she's more stickler than Mother is.
Yeah.
And so then the kids, and and then we all went in to see Mother. And Aunt Bertie, after we left, Aunt Bertie said to Mother, "Well, those kids have been drinking." And Mother said, "How can you tell?" See, she never smelled beer. And Aunt Bertie said, "I know, because I know, my husband used to drink or something." And I was so mad that she, told her that we'd been drinking on the way home. But, that we drank even. We had that beer. And then the next time I borrowed her car, and I had been going on maybe for several days, I don't remember. But then when I was supposed to be home, I'll say on a Friday night at 6 o'clock or something. And we lived, an hour's drive. And I was still at 5 o'clock, I was still sitting there in Grand Island, having parties and all. And so I had to drive like 75 miles an hour to get home. Well, by the time I pulled in her driveway, and her driveway was right, that long driveway, right under that kitchen window. And that car was steamy. Oh, it was the hottest thing. I mean, it was hot because it had to go, 75 or 80 miles an hour to get there on time. You didn't dare be late, And so that wasn't easy either to explain to her, she is right there, foot from it, by that thing. And I couldn't figure out why it was steamy. I didn't know, and something's wrong with it. So I tried to get her in the other part of the house and all, and get her mind on something else in that car. But now we had a long, long driveway. Her driveway was really long. So then Don and Gary made a trip over there. When I don't know what year that'd be. Let's see. If we got married and lived in Denver, Don must have been at least 16 years old. And he was born in 48. This must have been in the 60s. They were on their way up to Canada. That's where they were. Don and Gary were. Oh. And then they're going to the toy show. And so, and it was in the wintertime, but they were stopped by Grandma's in Oregon. And so I was concerned about that driveway because there could be about 4 feet of snow in it. Mm-hmm. But then, because that was before toy shows, so that'd be in January or something. And I was worried about how they would get up and all. So when they came back, I said to Gary, "Well, how'd you get up that driveway?" He said, "Well, she had swept it. She swept it.
She shoveled it out."
Yeah, shoveled it out. And I said, "She did? Did she do very well?" And he said, "Well, for a girl, she did okay." That poor guy. How long was that driveway?
Well, I would say that driveway had to be probably, I'm guessing, a good 100 feet.
And I would have said more than that. I thought it was more. Anyway, and it's up those 2 hills, those 2 slopes.
Right. And the real treacherous part, it was so narrow.
Yes, so very. Oh yeah, and
if you got up there, now how do I get it out?
And it had cement on both sides, remember? Yeah. And you only had like an inch on each side.
That's right.
And I'm not kidding. Yes, so you had to go right up straight. That's why. And then we could back out straight. That's why we're such good backers. I mean, I'm really. People say, "I don't see how you can be back like this." Boy, if you'd learned like I did on that.
Practice.
Yes.
Sometimes you had to go forward and then back.
Yes, many times. And then when Mother would be there, the house was on the south side of the street. She never put out her hand to signal. She was going to be turning there, left turn. No. And that really frustrated the kids. It really did. And so we'd say, "Well, why don't you put out your hand?" They all know. They know I live here. Everybody knows that.
You got to turn here.
And that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Small town, everybody knew everybody.
Yes. Oh, yes, you have to wave to everybody. You have to wave to everybody. That was Pete's laugh, He'd say when we'd go drive from Denver to Oregon, he'd say, the minute we hit the Nebraska border, he'd say to the kids, "Now straighten up, everybody, get up straight," and because they're going to wave to everybody that goes by. Yes.
Well, it was. Do you remember that left side of the garage? Did Dad have an old truck in there?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But I never remember him taking it out. They're driving.
No, I don't either. Well, it was probably so narrow that in those days that was probably a wide strip in there.
Yeah, I just remember that.
Yes. They use that when they go pheasant hunting, you know, and all that jazz. Or when you go out the farm.
Yeah, but I don't remember driving it, but I do remember that truck in there. And then that we had to knock out the front end of that garage to make room for one of Mom's cars she got, so it fit.
Yeah.
And then one day, the big Chrysler, I think she and Grandma were going to push it out to wash it off or something, and the thing got away from them and went all the way down the driveway, the two little hills, across the street, into our neighbor's driveway, which is fairly long, and hit their garage. And nobody would believe that car had to be just precisely aligned so it didn't turn. And
that was traumatic because she had to buy a new garage door.
Yeah, she had to repair the damage.
For them.
But I think I asked her once, I said, how? She said, well, Grandma and I were just going to push it out. That was a big car, like a tank.
But they were strong. They were strong.
They were strong. And then I remember one of your friends, Betsy Cavanda, her dad drove up the driveway and hit her, ran over her foot or something.
Yes, I'd forgotten that. Yes, that was Darlene Punch-A-Car. Yeah.
Oh, was that who it was?
Yeah, her foot. Yes, one of the Punch-A-Car girls.
Oh.
Yes.
She come running in the backyard there, and Dad was coming up the driveway.
Seems like she had to be in a cast for a long time with that foot, too.
Did she?
Yeah.
Somehow I thought that Betsy Cavanda. Yeah.
But you know, you talk about those punch-car girls. I remember one summer, now that was Jerry Punch-A-Car, and I forget her name, but anyway, they had like 4 or 5 girls in the family. And he
had one boy too.
Said darn, the word darn, and it was the summer, and our windows were open and their windows were open. And Mother, that just was horrible. I mean, we weren't supposed to play with them or talk to them or anything. That was really bad. Really bad.
So the D word, huh?
Yes. Darn. Yes.
I can't ever remember any profanity. I can't remember even cuss word.
No. Oh no.
I mean, any of the people.
Yeah. No.
I can't even remember as a kid growing up swearing.
Well, no. As I say, we wouldn't even say darn. You wouldn't associate with anyone that said darn.
I mean, we weren't that angelic.
Yes, we were. Yes, we were.
I remember going to Sunday school every Sunday.
Yeah.
Whether you wanted or not,
and
we went.
And you dressed, and
got dressed up.
Or remember, but I think I told this the other night about Mother wouldn't let me wash those clothes, hang around on Sunday.
Yeah, and then I changed the wheels on that little go-kart.
Yes, well, was that on that tape? I think it was.
Yeah. But I remember we wanted to play out in the street.
Yes.
And
baseball
or something, and no way with our good clothes on.
Yeah. And besides, it was Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday, after about 5 or 6 o'clock, then you didn't have to be as strict as we were before, on Sunday.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was I think we got to play hide and seek after 5 or 6 on Sunday, which before, well, you didn't make noise and do things like that. Remember we talk about punch cards. Remember the jigsaw puzzles? That was our thing. Everybody always had jigsaw puzzles out. Oh, yeah. And you always could go from one house to another and work their jigsaw puzzles. Yes, that was really fun in the hot summers. And the lemonade. Remember
lemonade stands.
Yes. Yes.
And
Kool-Aid. We had Kool-Aid too. But mostly,
Kool-Aid.
lemonade. Yes.
trying to sell each kid a
Yes.
glass for a penny.
Well, remember a little bit ago when you were talking about, or the other night you were talking about your money, your pennies and all. When I went to bed, I thought, that's where you guys, where we used to make money. We used to sell lemonade, don't you know, for a penny.
Yeah.
Or remember when we used to have those wagons full of watermelons
Yeah.
and sell that, and then Mother made those bonnets, and I.
You had to work on it.
And yes, we had to go buy sacks, wealthy people, and to see if they'd buy those watermelons. I think we were selling the watermelons for Uncle John.
Yeah.
Because he had a big crop.
Well, it wasn't only watermelon, there was other stuff.
Well, and the bonnets, and the mother made, and I don't remember anything. All I remember is the watermelons and the bonnets. And that was sort of humiliating, even though we were little kids.
Probably was for you. Me, I was just tagging along.
Yes, you're right. Yes. Yes, well, it was sort of demeaning. That's probably why I'm so frustrated.
Well, that was during the Depression.
Well, yeah, maybe I was from a dysfunctional family and I didn't know it. That's what he used to say. Everybody teased him about how he was so poor. And he said they teased us about wearing gunny sack pants. He said, we didn't know we were poor until they started
That's right.
teasing us.
Until somebody told us.
Yeah.
Well, I remember putting cereal box tops in our shoes all
Yes.
the time.
I remember that shredded wheat, that cereal box tops, and I'd use it in my shoes. And I mentioned that to Mother when I was maybe in high school.
You didn't do that.
And yes, that's right. She got mad. She said I didn't do it. I said I did too, Howard. I wouldn't just make that up. I remember every morning if we had holes in our shoes, which we did during the Depression.
Yeah, I remember that.
Those shredded wheat cardboard. Yeah. Oh boy, we were poor.
But we had fun.
Well, everybody was poor in those days.
Yeah, everyone was poor. At least Dad had a job.
The Depression, Well, that's when he had the drugstore, too.
He had the drugstore.
He was rich. He was one of the wealthy ones.
That's right.
But
nobody paid
But
for
in
it.
property, you didn't like
Property was going for less than
It
taxes.
wasn't like you made a salary,
Yeah.
Well, when they were first married, they were doing fine.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
there wasn't a depression there,
Yeah, Dad had a lot of money for the time.
and the banks didn't close and all that.
What, it took a whole year on their honeymoon, didn't it?
Yes. Yes. To California and Colorado and to Pikes Peak. She always had talked about Pikes Peak.
They'd camp out
And here we
and
lived.
travel all over.
We lived within miles of Pikes Peak. Could see it out our bedroom window. I never went up there.
I haven't either.
And my mother used to tell us those stories. That was so romantic. And about their honeymoon, yes, in California, yes. And those pictures, we had a picture of Mother and Dad, in California.
Yeah. Well, then, they had good times.
In my clothes, a little girl, baby in my clothes were beautiful, gorgeous bonnets, but as we say, that was before the Depression. Nice.
Mom told me that that Chrysler was a 28 Chrysler. That's the year I was born. She says, well, when you were born, Dad, he went down and bought a new car.
Yeah, sure. And gave
Biggest
cigars
car
to
ever.
everybody. Just gave cigars to everybody. Yes. Remember the cigars Dad used to smoke? We had cigar boxes all over the house.
Yeah, all kinds. I mean, there was tons of them.
And his cigar stand. Yeah, I think that's in the wardroom, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you got that.
Yeah. And how Dad would sit by that radio.
By the radio.
Get him to do things with it. He's got diabetes. He doesn't, they don't.
That's gonna work now, guys. There you go.
Well, what were we talking about?
We were talking about Mother and her
her
trade
hat.
shows, yeah. And what? What'd she say? Oh, yeah, the hat. The brand hat.
Yeah. Well, the only time I remember wearing a hat is on Sunday, I guess.
Oh, well, you know what? Why I'm thinking that is because my friends, Ann and all, tease me about being a diva. And I lie in bed and think about Mother was my diva. She taught me to be a diva,
What's
which
a
she
diva?
really was.
What's a diva?
Well, that's somebody that, that's like, let's see, that's somebody that has to dress up real proper every day, sort of a goddess, or,
Diva?
yeah,
Is that you heard?
yeah. Sure, she knows.
You're a diva?
Oh, yes, yeah, that, wouldn't you, who's
Is Margaret a diva?
No, Margaret isn't diva.
She is.
Who's a diva, Margaret?
I don't know.
Who's a, no, to me a diva is, now see, a diva is somebody that has to dress with the gloves and, the whole thing every day. And, a goddess. Let's see, okay, Imelda, Marcos is a diva with all her shoes, 100 pairs of shoes or 5,000 there. That's somebody that has to have everything just right and has a butler and a chauffeur.
I got news for you. Margaret's a diva. Divine diva.
For rifle,
She won't even let me wear my shorts past 3 hours.
well, from Rifle, Colorado.
Oh, right.
Well, yeah, sure, that's natural.
Well, anyway, I've never heard of a diva. Oh. What's your language?
Well, we didn't say anything wrong.
Yeah, I guess we can.
Anyway, no, yourself, Mother was always proper,
Yeah, she was always
very proper. Now,
yeah.
see, and I asked you last year that there's a commercial on that's just priceless. It's about Smucker's jelly, and it's this woman that's really, real proper and everything, and then she has a little family of 6 people sitting around like this, and they're everything is, like, picture Mother in the dining room, everything would be nice and set and, dressed nice and ate right on china and everything. Anyway, she in this ad, this little family, everything's fine, but yet this gal has her boyfriend there, and instead of everybody else asked for the jelly, no, that they had nice, they're all fruit. And he says, pass the jam or something like that. And then the mother faints, and it reminds me of Mother. Mother would be shocked if somebody said darn, or anything like that, or, messed up on something.
She'd probably bite her lip.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, when we were sitting down.
Wouldn't say anything,
Yeah.
she'd bite her lip.
Yeah. No, that lady was a Anyway, no, Mother was a diva, yes. Everything, well, you know that. When people came to her
Well,
house.
I'd say, yeah, but I didn't know what diva meant,
well,
so now I know what
You
diva.
sat in the living room, you didn't sit in the kitchen and joke, and when you went to church, you didn't talk. You sat there like you were supposed to. And
That's
she
what
did
she
go,
brought up.
she did go around, yeah, that's right. So, she taught me to be a diva. I used to be one.
You did?
I guess I used to dress with scarf every day and long earrings.
Yeah, I remember you dressing up.
And I carried the right luggage, remember? As I said the other day, you didn't know my luggage was.
But I often wondered what Mom's, home life was when she was growing up. Because she told me once that they were so strict that on Sunday, they couldn't even go out and gather wood.
That's right.
They thought, it all had to be done
Yes.
prior to Sunday.
Sure, that's right.
And
Well,
no dancing, right? No card
that's
playing.
right. Couldn't even say darn. You wouldn't
We
have.
could say
Well,
darn any day of the week.
I don't. But Gordon, remember when I had Dawn, a little baby, and I said to her one day, she's without a dryer, I said, can I hang out these clothes on Sunday? Because I had to wash every day the diapers. And she said, no, I couldn't hang them outside because you want the neighbors to see them on Sunday. So I had to hang them down in the basement. Okay, so then the next week I went to Pete's mother's, we were on trip with her, and I said to Pete's mother, can I wash these clothes on Sunday and hang them outside? And she said, yes, cleanliness is next to godliness. But that's the truth, you know that. We couldn't hang out clothes
Well, I remember once when I was a kid, we used to take these old trikes and we'd invert the frame and we'd make little go-karts.
Yeah.
And we'd push them real low and we'd push them. And you could flip the frame depending on the size of the front wheel, either up or down. And one Sunday, all I wanted to do was flip the frame. You know, this was our pride and joy. Kids' pride. And all I had to do was take off that front wheel and flip the frame and put the front wheel back. But it was Sunday. And Mom says, do not go out to the garage and mess with that go-kart. I said, okay, Mom. So what do? I go up there and I flip the frame and run down the back entrance to the basement, you know, down the steps. I go in the washroom there and I'm washing my hand, and there she's standing.
Yeah, with a stick.
No a stick. She had an apron on, and she apparently was carrying food or something. Anyway, she'd run downstairs.
Isn't that?
And there I was, and there I met her. I'm telling you.
Oh.
Felt like God himself had caught me in the act.
Well, sure. You would rather
Oh, man, that was humbling.
Oh,
Because I promised her I wouldn't do
Isn't
that.
it too?
I don't even remember what she said.
You don't even remember what the place was. Well, she didn't have to punish.
And maybe she probably didn't say anything.
No, she probably didn't. Isn't that typical?
See, something like this sticks out.
Yeah. And about how old were you? You must have been, what, 7 or 8?
Just,
Yeah.
probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe. Well, she's Methodist. That's what Methodists are. They have a problem.
But she's Baptist.
You know, then she would have really been bad.
Yeah.
Yes, isn't that typical?
But I was telling somebody at Herbert just the other that we were talking about, I don't know what we were talking about. I says, I remember my mom, when we got married, one of the first things Mom asked me was, is your bride to be, what church did she go to?
Oh, sure.
Or she asked me, she says, are you going to join her church, or she's Presbyterian?
Ooh.
I said, didn't make a difference to me. You know, Mom, bitter lip.
Yes.
Fighting back tears.
Yes.
That's all right, just so long as it's a Christian church.
I thought you were going to say she had a fit because of Presbyterian.
Because she was
Yes.
she had a pen, I think, that said,
DDOs, wasn't it?
no, she showed me a pen once, I think it's 50 years, not missing a Sunday or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Some
Oh, yeah. So
unbelievable thing.
Yes, I believe it.
Yeah. Might have been more than 50. She lived over when she was in her 20s. And she probably went up until we put in the nursing home. Yeah, she showed me that pen once. It's a pretty good record.
Well, that's why I always think of that, because see, to me, she wanted her children to be good Christians.
Yeah.
And go to church. That was it. And to me, when if I said, what did I used to pray my children would do, I wanted them to be well adjusted. Now, if somebody said that to you, what would you say? What did you want your children to be?
You know what time of my life?
Well, when your kids are little, you want
Well, I think
children to
as far as I know, I just we took them to church, but it's just kind of like a habit to me.
Well, did you ever think in your mind when you prayed at night when you went to bed, like say your children were 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 or something, did you pray that they'd be depressive or Christian or?
No,
Well,
really
what
didn't.
you used to pray for? What did you want?
That's too long ago, man. See, I can really remember what happened yesterday.
Oh, I know. Join the crowd. Join the crowd. No,
I told you this morning.
you know, I know.
Our kid's life just flew by me all of a sudden.
Oh, well, yeah.
Woke up
I
and they were
believe you,
gone.
I believe you, I believe you. What did you want to
So
say?
why
I
did
think
we-
I'd want them to be well adjusted. I don't remember specifically
Say Christian.
one particular thing, but you do always want them to be well adjusted and be able to get along with other people and this sort of thing.
What do you pray for you? What do you want when your children were like 8 or 9 or 10? You went to bed at night. What did you want your children to be when they grew up?
I didn't ever give it a thought.
Well, what'd you say in your prayers?
As far as my children,
Yeah.
I just pray for them daily type thing, not for the
Oh,
future. I think I still do.
Dear Lord, we got him through this day now. What about tonight? Huh?
Well,
Tomorrow's too far off.
Who's,
Well,
you know,
we're supposed to be thinking things daily, but we don't. I mean, I don't. I think of things in the future.
well, if something's happening in their lives today, I'm praying for that today, you know.
Well, yeah, but when your children,
Tomorrow, I don't know what's gonna happen.
when your children were young, like say maybe 10 or 11 or something, you didn't pray. Did you? Did you think of things by day when you were 10 or 11 when you went to bed at night?
I think I always thought that way.
You prayed
Not
by
in the
day.
future.
Oh,
I don't go too far in the future. Because I found in doing that,
I don't
everything I
think,
planned
yeah,
never
it
was
gets-
there when I
yeah,
got
it
there.
gets so much.
It was gone. It was,
I think I'm like you. I never thought, it
I'll
was just
be there.
kind of like
I'll
one
be-
day at a
I'll
time.
be there.
Yeah,
To me,
because-
I never thought my kids would get old enough to leave the house in the first place.
To get out of there.
Yeah.
To me, that was so important. I just wanted my kids to be well adjusted.
Really?
And just like Christian, but it was important.
Yeah, that's, now I'd say that's probably, as far as I'm concerned, the most
Now, yes,
important thing.
now, yes, now.
Yeah, to become a
But
Christian.
I learned that, about 15 years ago. I was at a Baptist church, and after church, we all, like maybe 8 or 10 women to go have coffee down here, Humpty Dumpty or something afterwards. And here we are, women my age was 50, I'll say. And with,
8 or 10 years ago, you were 50?
well, 15 years ago, 15
Oh,
years ago.
15, yeah.
I was 55.
So you're only 65 now.
55.
Okay.
55. Okay, no, what I want to do is set, all these women, these old women, and then this young gal, 20 or something.
Yeah.
And so I said to the young gal, I said, what do you, let's see, how do I word that? What do you pray for? What one thing do you pray for? And she said, I pray that Jesus is my best friend. And I thought, that little pot, that little stink pot, what a prayer to pray for. Well, to me, that's where I think now at 70. Yes,
Yeah.
Jesus is my best friend. But I thought, isn't that great for a little 20-year-old to think that?
Yeah.
I
You don't
think
hear
that's
that.
wonderful.
Most people
I think that's wonderful.
don't. I shouldn't say that. You know,
What, for young people?
I said you don't hear it from young people, but you do hear it from young people.
Well, if we'd ask them more, if they'd listen.
Yeah.
I don't think they ask them. I like to hear how they feel about politics. I like to hear their people. I really love to hear what kids think about politics, like right now.
Well, we should probably be more interested. They're gonna have to be living with it, They all say that there won't be any money in the Social Security.
that's
Yeah,
true. That's true. It's scary.
They're thinking about that.
Oh, they've been thinking about that for 5-10 years.
Yeah.
Gary said, they can start doing their own insurance program.
You got your soldiers' home, flies,
Oh, yeah, see, and
any insult.
yes, and when I was young, like, how old was I, maybe 10 or 11 or 12, I used to get to go to Grand Island, Nebraska, to visit grandma.
How did you go on the train?
Yes,
By yourself?
yes, that was a big deal. And so every summer, that was my thing, and I got to live on Hershey's candy bars, that was
Ooh.
granted, and bananas. Oh, that was heaven. This little dinky room where Grandma lived. And then in the afternoon, all these old people would gather around, and they'd pay me. What are you doing? Going, shut up.
Right.
Okay, you got your list?
I got all your money and
And
your
the-
credit card and I'm leaving town.
yeah, Marion, you look like it.
Have a good time.
With that bag, And you have the list of the calendar.
I made it up.
Okay. Anyway, so these, then there were a lot of flies that were we'd gather, on the porch every afternoon, waiting for dinner. And so they'd pay us like maybe a penny to kill 50 flies.
Oh, really?
So, and then there'd be other grandkids there too. And there was this other girl there, and she complained about the food all the time. Well, gosh, I didn't know there was something wrong with the food. She said it was too salty or something. Yeah, because I didn't know anything was ever wrong with it. Food was food. I was so impressed with that girl. She's from California, because she knew that food was too salty. And then she would, once in a while, she'd kill 50 flies for a penny. But that's what we did. That's why I remember Grandma Eleanor. That was.
See, Bud and I used to go down to Melbourne, Italy.
Yeah.
We'd take the train down, and it was a big deal.
Yeah.
And,
Did you get Hershey candy bars?
no, I remember I remember
Where'd you
Grandma
stay?
would take us out. They had a big area to walk in there.
Mhm.
Yeah. And sometimes we'd walk, I don't know if we'd go all the way downtown. See, that sometimes we'd take a long walk.
The bus station was the bus to get the bus to go downtown was quite.
Yeah,
big.
that's right. Yeah, we couldn't have walked downtown.
Yeah.
I don't remember any flies. I don't remember any pennies. I don't remember any bananas.
Well,
I don't remember any salt.
What you do, get a room for the two of you or something to stay in?
Yeah, I think we had a little guest room or something. Because her room was small.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Of course, there's one now that's about the same size.
Yes. But yeah,
But
see,
she seemed to be real happy then.
yes.
Yes.
Well, but and then all right, now say that was when maybe I was 12 or 13. Then when I was 20 or when I got married, Pete and I went there to Soldier and Sailor's Home. See, first he had to go meet Mother and be an old, and come back to Grand Isle. And he thought that was so funny that here we went to see Grandma, and well, and this is so typical because I do this all the time now. This old people. We were sitting there, just the three of us talking, and in the middle of the conversation, Grandma said, "I wonder whatever happened to Grow Pup." And he thought that was so funny. Here we are sitting there talking about, I don't know what, maybe corn or crops or whatever. So, well, I do those dumb things. That's typical of old people. You're saying it doesn't have any connection with anything you're talking about. And I do that all the time. and
Am I at that stage, Jer?
What?
I asked her if I'm at that stage.
Well, let's see. Oh, sure, I do.
I mean, real old. I just call it old dog.
Well, I do that because a lot of times Don will say, we'll be talking, like three of us, Don, and I'll say something ridiculous like that, and he said, "Where did that come from?" And Karen says, "Well, because we're talking about this and this, that led to that, that led to that." And he looks like, oh. That's why it reminds me when we get up here that I've got a cute article on people doing that, changing the subject.
yeah.
Oh, and old people or ladies.
I'm hearing stories that I've never heard before.
No
Because
problem.
you never talked much
Yeah,
about
well-
your family.
Well, I never did either. Because
I talk about mine.
let me think. You don't talk that much about your family.
I do
to him.
to him, and I have to the kids.
Well, you don't
But-
talk to me about your family like you talk about your family, say if you're visiting Rich. Just like
Well,
Maxine and I are talking now.
Okay, maybe not.
Oh, yeah, when you visit Rich, I used to
Yeah.
remember the time we just saw the
Yeah.
yeah. I guess. Mhm. Isn't this a beautiful day? I'm looking. Isn't this a gorgeous day? Look at it with the window open there. This is really nice. And no sun.
No sun,
Yeah.
nice and cool out.
Take a nap, and it isn't hot in there like it was, but 4 or 5 days ago when Marion was here. I went in to take a nap, and the sun was beating down on those blinds in there. I said, oh, we're going to have to move the blinds so I can nap because the sun's bothering me. She said, wait till Gordon gets here.
Yeah, that's what she
He'll
told
have
me
a
this
fit,
morning.
he'll have a fit.
She said, I was worried you were
Yeah,
coming.
Well, as I say, it was 85 that day, and I bet today was going to be 75 maybe. I don't know.
I don't think it'll be much over 70
You
today.
didn't walk there today, did you?
Cooler.
Did you let him get by with that?
Because I
Because he's on vacation.
move sometimes too, especially in the wintertime.
You got here, tea for rummy. Tea for rummy, mother and word.
Oh, that's their yard grandma again. But is it cheaper? Let me see what it is. Temper.
Oh,
Grandma's
temper.
yeah,
Oh,
grandma's
grandma's
temper.
temper.
Yeah. We used
Yes, yeah, I never knew she had a
to see
temper.
when mother was at work, at the drugstore
Yeah,
on Saturdays,
Yeah.
she'd leave grandma with us kids to
Yeah.
play rummy.
yeah.
And if she didn't win, grandma didn't win, then she'd lose her temper and get mad and throw the cards and have a fit. Well,
I
mother's
don't ever remember.
oh, because you were too young, I guess. And made mother mad. Well, I don't blame her.
She'd come home, all the cards were on the
Oh,
floor.
Lord. Yes. Grandma had a temper.
See, I never knew that until, Lucy told him
Oh,
one time we went to visit Lucy. And, somehow we got talking about grandma, which Lucy knew her. And Lucy says, your grandmother had a temper.
really?
Yeah.
I'll be darned. I wonder.
Yeah, I said, I never knew that. Oh, yeah, she had a temper.
Well, she was red-haired, don't you think? Because I think about you, Layla. Think about Uncle John. What did you forget, Marianne?
I forget to do the form.
Oh,
What, you saying Uncle John had a temper?
no, I think about grandma red-haired. Uncle John's complexion was more the red-haired type, and wasn't Eulalia red-haired? No.
Yeah,
Well, maybe grandma has some Irish blood in it,
I think she did.
I guess.
Yeah.
Which makes.
But see, I never remember her having a temper.
Oh.
That kind of thing.
See, I like grandma. Of course, you never want to be like your parents. When you never. And like your mother or boys like your dad. And I always wanted to be like grandma. Because grandma didn't give it on. And she didn't care if you went to church all dressed up with the hat and everything, with gloves. And
Yeah, she was laid back. That's
grandma was not a diva at the yard. And grandma didn't care if there was dust on top of the refrigerator. She had mother take care of her.
Yeah, she just kind of went with the flow.
Yeah, yes. But how did it turn out? How did it turn out? Just like your mother. Just like your mother. And let's see. Let me see. Think about you, Gordon. You're certainly not like your dad. That's for sure.
Well,
I guess you were like mother. Well, you've got patience. I have never known anyone that has patience like you do.
Now what?
Patience. I have never known anyone like you. Have you ever known anyone like you? For patience?
No, not really.
I can't believe. Do any of your kids have patience?
Yeah, Mike does.
I guess Mike does.
Yeah.
Yes, Mike. Isn't that interesting?
I think Steve does. It's Christian quality. Patience.
Oh, maybe. No, like when I was with Gordon on a trip, 15 years ago, we were in Ord. I guess it was probably after Pete died. And you and I got in the car to go someplace, and I forgot something in the house. Well,
Oh, that's probably when we went back from your latest kid's funeral.
oh, maybe probably, I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember right where we where the car was halfway down the driveway, right there in front of the kitchen. And I said, oh, Gordon, I forgot so-and-so. I thought you could never fit. Well, you didn't, it was no big deal. You just stopped the car and then got the purse or whatever. And I thought, oh, gosh, I've never been around anyone like that. Well, today he did the same thing. Today I did the same thing. We got in now today we had to have a wheelchair. And he got out the wheelchair, didn't say harm you anyway, or you know, he didn't cuss getting it out, and I got in the wheelchair, all ready to go, and I said, Gordon, I forgot my purse is in the car. He said, oh, okay, okay, and I went, okay, and I got crazy again. He must be crazy.
I'm old enough to realize it doesn't do any good to get upset about this thing.
Yes.
Well, you've always kind of been like that, dear.
Yeah. But isn't that funny? I've never known anyone, I can't believe anyone like that. I don't know anyone like that. I don't think I ever have known anyone like that. Today, that's almost unbelievable.
Excuse me.
You know what makes me mad is I can't stand people that forget their purse. That's what I'm really mad at myself.
Well,
I think it's stupid to forget your purse.
yeah, I don't know, qualifications, it just doesn't bother me. But I don't know if, you know, I know a lot of times when see, like when in business, when I was on a trip, it didn't seem like I had much patience with other people.
You didn't?
No.
What was the gal?
Oh, it's if somebody would hold me up or something, or a salesperson was showing me a line or something, and you know, I seem to be quite impatient.
What about if they were not on time?
Well, I was never really in that situation, other than the fact that the years I was with Pete, if you made an appointment, you wanted to be on time. But when I was buying, which is most of my life, you know, they catered to you.
Yeah, I know.
As long as I was buying merchandise, but if I was late,
Well, sure, because you were.
it didn't bother me, you know.
Yeah, you were the big shot. See,
Yeah, I
because
was the buyer.
Would it bother you, like like you said to Margaret, we have to go to this party, we have to be there at 7 o'clock, and at 7 o'clock she's still napping or something. Wouldn't that bother you that she's ready at 7?
No.
No, I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about 20 years old.
Oh, maybe.
Would
Yeah.
it? And you'd say something to her?
I don't know, dear. I'll have to ask her.
No.
But now, I wait on her all the time, wait on her for stuff.
Yeah, but see,
But I remember when I was,
yeah, but see, you're not human now. You're old.
Yeah.
You're old. That doesn't count.
I remember when
people.
when I was in school, and I bummed around with Roger Miller a lot. And he'd say, since he lived further out up on the hill, you know, and he'd pick me up, because he'd usually have a car, folks' car. And he'd always come in and wait for me to get ready. I remember Mom once she says, every time he comes, you're never ready. But he has to wait on you. She says, you shouldn't be that way. But I don't know if I changed then or what.
I'll be done. Well, Gordon, you know what I think about a lot? You remember when Mother said to you she was complaining about your writing, your handwriting?
Yeah.
She said you were always in a hurry. You were in a hurry, that's why your handwriting was so lousy. And you know, every time I get in a hurry and my handwriting is so horrible, like things like that, I think about Mother saying that to you. You know, you're trying to write too fast, and that is right to write something like that.
Yeah. Well,
But I didn't expect other people to be reading it. You know, like Marion, when I make her list, I don't expect her to be reading it, so I can read it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't.
I know.
But I think
I know my writing got bad when I couldn't read it.
I think of that a lot. You know, as having to have, you know, you can't read it, And sometimes Mary and I will stand there with the magnifying glass and try to figure out what's behind it. And I think of Mother saying to you, you know, don't write so fast.
Remember in college, we used to have, we call them blue books. You buy these blue books, and when you're writing essay questions for an exam or something, and I'd have several professors, they'd call me in, they say, we can't read your writing. You're going to have to read it for us. In the meantime, I had a chance to go bone up on the questions.
Yes,
I
yes.
said, hey,
Yeah, that sounds like
this
you.
isn't all bad.
Yeah, that sounds like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you jerks, you professors. What's the matter with you guys?
But I think I used to save some papers, you know, and of course I've tossed them ever since, but I'd look at the stuff that I'd written when I was way back in college. And, you know, it wasn't bad compared to the way I write now. It seemed like my writing just disintegrated.
You
Now
know,
I can't even print legibly.
oh, I want to tell you something really sad. Well, I wish that maybe that text there. I bet Marion took it off. Darn it, anyway. Gary used to be the best writer I've ever seen in my life. And he has arthritis now. And he's had it for about 20 years, maybe 15 years. How old is Gary now? 45, I'll say.
Yeah.
Maybe since he's 30. And his writing, you absolutely cannot read. Darn it, I bet she took. And that check, it makes you want to cry. Absolutely want to cry. That poor kid.
Huh. I just writing and going down here.
Yeah, but you know, going on some of these letters, like people like Audrey, her writing is beautiful, just beautiful.
Look at your Layla's.
Eulalis is beautiful, and then this gal, this Jane Jensen I went to school with, hers is still gorgeous too, just perfect. Now that's 3 people that they're writing, it's just like it used to be.
Huh.
It's just really nice.
Well, that's one attribute I've never blessed with, I guess. But I remember in
Well,
school.
you can be if you slow down.
No, in school, you know, all we had
Oh,
was
that's right,
right-handed
that's right,
desks.
yeah.
They didn't have the big
Mhm.
desk.
Mhm.
And so you always had to reach over, and you was always smearing it, especially in the summer when it's hot and sweaty. Your hands would get sweaty and you're always smearing over what you wrote. And then when I learned to type in high school,
Yeah, that's
just
a
decided to
that's
type
very,
it.
yeah, that's a very good. He
Yeah.
does type all
Does
the
he?
time. Yeah, he does type all. Yeah, he doesn't write anything. He would say if they could see it.
is his writing that bad?
Oh yes, oh yeah. As I say, it makes you want to cry. It just makes you. There's no way you can read any of it.
Hmm.
It's really sad. And
Well,
the
that'd
way-
be hard being a salesperson, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, my writing has never been.
Gordon, maybe nowadays, maybe it isn't. Maybe recorders and. Maybe
That's
they're-
right, yeah.
Right,
Orders
and type
every
and,
place you go,
fax and all that stuff.
computers,
Yeah.
internet.
Mhm.
Oh, well. So much for writing. Mom wrote pretty well.
Yes. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Just beautiful. And I used to write just like Mother.
Yeah, you used to write real good.
Because Dennis said one day after Mother died, and after Pete died or something, I wrote a card to them, and he went by it, and he thought, well, how come Grandma's, not thinking of her being dead. He thought, oh, the card from Grandma today.
Huh.
Oh, Lord, my card's, and then writing on the side, just like Mother did.
Yeah.
On the side. You thought of everything going on.
Get your money's worth.
Yeah. No, she was good writer.
Yeah, she was. I can't even remember Dad's handwriting.
And he was okay. For a man.
For a man, huh? Well, maybe they don't teach it like they used to. I don't
No,
know.
they don't have people. They just type. In fact, a lot of these older people have things on TV, complaining because kids don't learn penmanship now. Remember how we used to, do that? this deal and all, and that's Pete did. You know, Pete was a good guy because he went to business college. Very useful.
Well, let's see, what else you got here? Bernie H.L. Steak. What's,
Oh, you're gonna love this, Margaret. And I know you've heard this a million times, but your dad and mother took Bernie and mother to what's that little town, someplace where they used to get good steak. But it wasn't north of Ord. No, not north of Ord, south of Ord.
you got NL, that's North Loop?
Okay. Yes. Let's see. Yes. Remember, there was this little steakhouse there. And
I don't
yes,
remember that.
and
There's one in St. Paul, you don't need
no,
that.
I don't know. I don't think so. No, that one was not one of them. No, there's just this little one there and I think, and you know, this was a big deal. It was on a Sunday, and he used to take them to steak there. Well, it was just horrible. It was tough and everything else. Well, Mother and Bernie started laughing and giggling, and they got to laughing and giggling, and they couldn't stop. And here's embarrassing. Your dad, here he is taking his ladies all to brunch or something, or steak dinner. And that's the story on that. And how embarrassed Mother was when they got home to think of it. They were they were chewing on it like a dog, passing their bones back and forth.
Poor Bill, huh?
Being real silly.
Bill probably felt bad.
Yes. Well,
He probably did.
and
Yeah.
well, sure,
He
very
took
and-
things.
Yeah, very serious. And Mother did too. After she got home, you know, she was so embarrassed. I think she embarrassed him, and she had to call him and apologize and all. And
You know, I remember now she
they're
mentioned that
proper. They're proper.
when the mom and Bernie get together, they just get into giggles.
Well, that's what they did that day on that stage.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Mhm.
They giggle all the time.
Well, that's kind of like Bernie was. She was
Yeah.
lots of fun
Yeah.
when she was younger. I mean, she was to me more like a grandmother than my own grandmother. Because when
Probably,
we
yes.
went to visit, we always went to see Bernie. She always had candy
Yeah,
for
cookies,
us.
yeah, cookies.
And she didn't bake or anything like that herself, but she always had treats for us of some kind.
Sure.
And she would play cards with
Yes.
us and things like
Yeah.
that. And my grandmother never did any of this.
Mhm.
Although Bernie wasn't that old. Bernie
Yeah.
was younger than my mother, but she was lots of fun when
Yeah.
we were growing up.
You got bridge empty, no one there to check latchkey kids.
Oh, well, you know,
What's
see,
that mean?
well, every Wednesday or something, Mother played bridge. You know, there were like two tables of bridge, and like Lucille Torn and
You mean this was after Dad died, or?
no, always, you know, I always.
I know they used to have a bridge club.
When I was in high school.
Oh.
But yeah, because I always looked forward to that day she'd be playing bridge, because I
No.
didn't want to have somebody there every time I came home from school. I wanted to be like other kids, and you know, not to have somebody there to say, "How'd you do today?"
Oh.
Mother, I always liked it on Wednesday when Mother played bridge, because she would be there right when I got home from school. Yeah, I guess I was a little rebel.
Yeah, you were a rebel.
Compared to him. Compared to what?
You embarrassed me. But I remember when they had bridge at our house,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and
yes.
that was a big deal.
Oh, I know.
They had all the candies and
The tablecloths had to be perfect and little, you know, and
yeah, all kinds of-
starched and ironed and.
and we sat up there on the steps going upstairs.
You're talking about the night ones. You're talking
Night,
about the night. Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Okay. That was 3 tables. The night deal. That was.
Oh, that was more than that, because they were in the living room and dining room.
Well, I know. Living room and dining room and then that little
They had the card
yeah.
tables.
And the men were there.
Huh?
The men were there too.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
And the
Emo
cigar
Parade,
smoke
Emo
was all
Parade,
over
yeah.
the, you remember that?
Yeah.
Full of men smoking pipes or cigars.
And they'd be out in front and we'd go out, look out
We'd
the
go
north
sneak
window.
around in.
And I think I saw someone with a beer one night.
Did you really?
Yeah.
In Mom's house?
No, not in the house, outside. The guys, the men
Oh,
would be
outside.
outside, the men would
Oh.
be outside.
Oh, I was gonna say.
And then they had good dinners, don't you remember? They had good casseroles, like tuna casserole they'd have.
It almost like a party night. Almost like you were dressed up.
Oh, yes, oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
Who else? The old Bogotas would be there. the
Well, there
Vegas.
was, I remember Lucy and Tubby Tolan.
Yeah.
And did your folks come to that?
I don't know.
Mother didn't play cards.
No.
Dad played cards, but Mother didn't play cards.
And Miller's, Mary Miller's folks.
Who?
Mary Miller.
Doc Miller?
Yeah.
Did they know?
Yeah.
All I can remember is Tolan's. That's
And
the
then
only
and
other.
who was it? Sachs.
Oh, Sachs, and who was the baker? The guy up the street.
Johnson.
Who?
Johnson.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah, the seal and what's his name?
Spot.
Spot.
And what about fajitas? I mean, no, what about on the corner there? Who are those people on the corner of our block?
Hey, the mortician, mortuary?
Pearson.
Yeah, but I think they were young. I think Pearson was there. Well, maybe it could have been Pearson.
Frazier's used to live there.
Fraser, that's what I'm thinking of.
Frazier,
That's what I'm
yeah.
thinking, yeah, Fraser, yeah.
I think the Fadas came to that too.
Yes, they did. Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Well, that was a big
And what
deal.
about Milliken across the street from us?
I don't remember.
Yes, yes, they were.
Were they?
Yeah, that was a society.
Yeah, that was high
Organized,
society.
yeah. Yes, it was. It was.
I think it
As
was.
high as you could get.
I mean, what else was there to do?
Yeah, well,
Let's face
I
it.
know, but it was so proper. It was so.
Yeah.
It wasn't pinochle. It was bridge.
Bridge.
Well, Mother was fit playing those games like
Well, she was
chess.
She was a good
She
card player.
liked to play chess, which I never did learn, but she used to play with my kids. And yeah, she liked that kind of stuff.
I remember some pinochle games after I started learning how to play pinochle. And, well, John and Bertha, and, I was gonna say the lowbrow crowd. I didn't mean that at all. You know?
No, but it's the truth. It's the
You know, the bull hunt crowd. You know? That was their game. It was a common man game.
Yeah.
Pinochle.
It was.
I mean, for Sunday night, man,
Yeah.
they did some wild games, pinochle
How come Mother played pinochle on Sunday night, yet on Sunday I couldn't hang out?
games.
Well, I didn't know they would play on Sunday
I
night.
think it's Sunday night. That's when.
Well, yeah, it'd have to be.
It's either Saturday night or Sunday
Yeah,
night
I bet it's probably.
when they come in, when the farmers used to come to town.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Mhm,
They
sure.
sit in the living room on that big table. Whiskies.
Yes.
Whiskies.
Yes. And Coles, I don't know if Coles were in on
Yeah, Bowles loved to play pinochle.
Double kings, double queens, double jack. I never was into pinochle that much. I like pinochle, but I never was.
We played pinocchles in the service. We
Oh,
played
did
pinochle
you?
almost every day.
No gin. You didn't play gin very much in the service?
Not so much. Gene would play a lot on the airplanes, riding back and
Oh.
forth. But, I like pinochle. Then I graduated to poker.
You call it graduation? Then when did you learn, Mister? Did you ever?
Well, we
Yeah.
started playing poker in high school.
Oh.
We had all-night parties, poker parties in high school.
I bet.
And then in the service, we played poker if you had money. Oh my
On
gosh.
payday.
Yeah, and after the service, we used to play poker.
Yeah.
We'd have poker parties after in Omaha.
Were you good at poker? See, I never was.
No.
It wasn't.
I'm not a card player. It has to be very simple, although I remember when we were living with Mina, this was after you got out of service, was it? Or
Yeah.
before you found this job in Grand Island? We used to play rummy.
Yeah.
And Mina was always playing with us. The card games have to be very simple. No concentration involved for me to enjoy
Well,
playing cards.
Well, because rummy is just like,
Yeah, it's simple.
for kids, yes.
Yeah. It's for big kids too, because Xerox
Well, I know, I know.
and Gordon and I get together and play this one kind of rummy.
Yes.
What is it called? That's lots of fun.
Yeah.
You know,
But that's I never got into bridge or anything that took a lot of concentration.
No more, let's see, what do the kids have nowadays? What is the stuff they play with now?
I have no idea. You mean computer games?
Yeah.
Yeah. What we recall in growing up in Ord, Nebraska, and our dad, Carl, was born, I believe, in Valley County, Nebraska, but his parents come over from Denmark to homestead property in Saskatchewan, Canada, and also in Valley County in Nebraska. And our mother, who was born in Iowa, her parents came to Grand Island, Nebraska, where they were both cooks, I believe, in this what they call the Soldiers and Sailors Home, a retirement home for veterans. And my mother went to business school in Grand Island, Nebraska, and then she came to Ord, Nebraska, and got a job with a furniture store. We think it was named Detweiler's, and we think that's where she met her father, Carl.
And she was a bookkeeper there.
She was a bookkeeper. So that was the beginning of our family. And they lived their complete life in Ord, their married life in Ord. My father was a World War I veteran who fought in France, in the trenches, a dirty war, although he never wanted to talk about it. I remember once as a kid, this movie came out called The Fighting 69th with James Cagney about World War I, and I asked my dad to take me. In fact, I begged him over and over again, and he finally relented and took me to it. But he didn't say one word about it. And I'm sure it's quite painful for him to see that movie. But being a kid, we were all gung-ho for war stories. And he served in the American Legion as long as I can remember, past president, and he was proud of his service. I think our grandfather on my mother's side served in the Civil War, right? And I assume on the north side, really immaterial. Yeah. And we were talking about their family, our mother's and father's family. At that time, families were quite large. And my father's family is buried in a little cemetery on a hill outside of Elyria, Nebraska, which is only a few miles from Ord, north of Ord. And I remember my mother telling me my father buying and erecting a fence around that cemetery because it wasn't properly cared for. And I believe our grandfather's name was
Thomas.
Thomas Sorensen, and we think his wife's name was Anna. But their graves are up there, and also their children's. They had 7 or 8 children that all died in between 1 year and 2 or 3 years. Apparently of childhood diseases, we don't know. But they're all buried up there, and several other of the Sorensen families. And we just don't have much history about that family. And sorry to say, but our brother Don, when he was stationed in Germany, took some time off and went to Denmark and contacted a paper in Copenhagen and told them his purpose of trying to find out more historical content of our grandparents. And they assigned a reporter to him and found out quite a lot about him, where he had come over to this country and made a considerable amount of money, went back to this little town in Denmark, Trested. I believe his name was Trested. It's on the coast. And he erected a city hall for the town. And they had a picture of him, a big picture, and dedicated this building to the memory of Thomas Sorensen. As we said, they both died before we were born, the grandparents. And our father died at a fairly young age, and we just don't have much history on his side of the family.
What year was it that Don went there? What year was it Don went?
Well, he was over there in 55 to 57, something like that. Yeah. And he wrote a journal, which I have that journal at home, that the efforts he made to try to find out, and the papers were interested in it. And, but he couldn't get too much information on the family because most of the people that knew them had since passed away.
Well, if our dad and mother were born in 1891, and Don was there, 65 years later?
Yeah.
Yes, that would be...
Yeah. He did mention, though, in his journal that there were a couple people that remembered the family, but they couldn't tell him much about him. And I know on our mother's side, her parents, I think he worked for the railroad at one time. And I remember our Uncle John told me that they had moved to Julesburg, Colorado to try to farm. And I don't know if this was during the hard times or what, or even what year, but he said they went out there and stayed a year or two, couldn't make a go of it, and then came back to Nebraska. And they also, our grandmother had a baby when they were in Julesburg, and they buried, Uncle John said they buried this baby out in the field.
Oh,
Yeah. And other than that, why, we're kind of at a loss about our family tree. We're going to try to find the family Bible later on and see if we can, Melvin Edwards, we believe, has that right now, and see if we can find some more. And we pretty much covered what we remember of our parents. You said you want to bring up Mom, even
Yes,
though she
yeah.
was a taskmaster, but she had a great sense of humor.
Yes, I just wanted to say that Yes, she did have a great sense of humor. I mean, we already said, what a good cook she was and what a great
Yeah.
person, but I want to tell this story. When Don Sorensen died, our brother, in
57.
57, okay, and then Gordon had to go up to a place in Wyoming,
Powell.
Wyoming, to get his possessions, and he brought back all the things that Don had, because he'd only worked up there for a few months for this oil station. Okay, so then when Mother was going through the possessions that Don had, distraught naturally, and he died in the fall of
57.
57. Yes. So then that next on Don Dillman birthday, that'd be my Don, in August, she was going to send him a birthday card. And she was going through Don's possessions, and she saw these cards that Don had. Don was a character. I mean, he was a fun guy.
Yeah.
And just out of college and all, and he was a good age out of college, and his time in the service, and so everything was happy-go-lucky. So she's found these cards, and on the outside of them, it said, "May the Bluebird of Happiness." And then she didn't go any further because, as I say, she was so distraught, and just thought, I got these cards here, and I'll send them to Don. I'll send him his birthday card. May the bird of happiness. Well, on the inside, when you opened it, it said, "Crap on your birthday cake," and it had a bird drawn up there, and then birthday cake, and poop coming down the bird. Okay, but she didn't know that. See, all she knew was this great, beautiful, nice card, "Made the Bluebird of Happiness." So then Mother sent that to Don, and we laughed and told our neighbors and all our friends. We had a big joke about it, and I didn't tell Mother about it for several years later. And I told her, and she wanted to grab it away from me, and I wouldn't let her because she wanted to throw it away. You'd think that his grandmother, everything was proper with Mother, everything was perfect. They'd sent this card, "Made a Bluebird happy." So then, in the meantime, these friends that I'd shared it with in Denver, John and Lou Sandy, every year every time we wanted to say an inside joke, it was always "Made the Bluebird of Happiness." So every year for birthdays or whatever, we'd look all over the town and the valley and the state to find a bluebird card. Sometimes we even had to draw a bluebird on their birthdays. So then I got Mary on to make with her computer, make some birthday cards for me. And she did these cards that said on the outside, "A message from Maxine," and then in big printing it said, "May the Bluebird of Happiness." And you open it up and you can say whatever you want to on the inside. So and I've used these cards. They've been so great because I use them for birthdays and Christmas or whatever. "May the Bluebird of Happiness." And if it's a nice girl, then I say, you talk really nice to her. You say, "May the Bluebird of Happiness spread sugar, spice, and everything nice over your birthday cake." But if it's a guy and you have to get smarty with him, I might say, "May the Bluebird of Happiness poop on your birthday cake," or not, and then in big letters underline, "Not poop on your birthday," whatever the occasion. But anyway, we've had fun with that. And as I say, Mother had a good sense of humor, and she would have loved it.
Yeah.
So that's our story about the Bluebird of Happiness. And let's see, I think when I was going, we didn't mention the fact that Mother was great at crocheting. She did needlepoint and beautiful needlepointing for the piano bench, and she crocheted doilies for us and hot pads, and that was her thing. And she also, when she came to visit us, would mend everybody's socks, all Pete's socks. And in those days, you mended things. You didn't buy new. That we had like socks, maybe 50 socks when she'd get there, because she always had to be busy.
Yeah.
She couldn't just be a grandmother.
Always busy, yeah.
She couldn't be a grandmother sitting in a rocking chair.
Yeah. And she sat down with it, so her hands were busy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I remember she always asked us, "You got any socks for the kids to repair, to darn?"
Yeah.
Yeah. She always had the ironing board out.
And she's good at cooking, which you already mentioned about those date. I asked Gary one day what he remembered about his grandmother. It's those date cookies that she made.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
time we came to visit, she had made
Yeah,
those.
yeah, those are good.
Those refrigerator cookies.
Our
with
kids
the-
remember those
yes.
too, yeah. I remember at night, I forgot what night of the week, but she was always out in we had kind of a porch in our house, back porch we called it. And she had a mangle,
Yes. Oh, yes.
Back there.
Great food, man. Great
yeah,
food.
which was probably a luxury in those days.
Yes.
But she would iron everything.
Every Monday after she washed her
After she washed. She spent hours back there.
pillowcases.
Sheets, I mean, everything had to be ironed.
Mhm.
That was before the day of no iron blends.
Yes. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes. And yes, she spent hours. Oh, we
Spent hours, right?
We might be in the other room doing our homework or listening to the radio or whatever. Yes, that was.
She always had clean clothes for us.
Mhm.
And
And when she washed, remember, it was downstairs, and she had to boil the water.
boil the water.
Yes. And had those great big,
Machine.
yeah, those great big
With the
kettles. to
wringer.
boil the water. Yes, with a wringer. Yes, the old fashioned.
Then she'd lug the clothes up the basement steps to the backyard where the clothesline was. But I can still smell that
Oh yes.
crisp, fresh smell of those clothes drying back there. I know Margaret always said she wished she had a clothesline because there's nothing like that smell.
Yes.
That sweet fragrance.
Yes, you're right. And then she ironed the sheets and all, and
Yeah.
and they were perfect. Like in the north room, that was her guest room, and that was perfect. Those sheets and pillowcases, and they had crochet all over them, and that was class. Yes.
Yeah, she was a hard worker. Don, her brother, was the youngest. He was born in '33, and he was only, I think we mentioned, eight or seven when her father died. But he was such a good tonic. Him and Mom had a real rapport between the two. And of course, when I left to go to college and then in the service, why Don literally grew up with Mom in his school years. And I remember Mom writing letters to me where Don was in a school play or something, and he was kind of the class clown. And she said he'd bring down the audience, and he was very tall,
Good looking.
good-looking, blonde, wavy hair.
Yes, good hair, good wiry hair.
Yeah. And he always had a smile.
And he was the drum. What was he? The drum major of the band.
He's drum major, yeah. Great big, tall, thin man with a high plume hat on there. He looked 7 feet high.
Yeah, he was good at it.
And he was very good at that.
That was a prestigious
Oh yeah, that was a.
in high school. You had to have that.
As I recall, all the years that I knew, the band had a drum majorette to lead the band.
I think
Until
he
Don.
Yeah.
Don was chosen as drum major. And then Don went to college in Lincoln, and I think he finished his junior year. And then he and a friend of his, I think it was Rich Hoyk, Margaret's brother,
Yes, I think it was too.
decided to enlist because at that time service was compulsory. And they decided to enlist in the Army and get it over with. And they were both sent to Germany, although they were in the occupation forces, but they were on different bases. But they did get together quite often and take trips throughout Germany and Austria
Italy,
and
and Italy.
France and Italy and
These two tall guys in this little tiny car, what was that car?
a little sports car they had rented.
Yes.
And they camped out in in Rome in the Colosseum, the ruins of the Colosseum. Camped out and had a party, and the guard told them that was illegal, but I guess they talked him into let him do it.
Well,
But-
Gordon, I didn't know that he didn't finish college. I thought he finished.
Well,
I didn't
he
graduate.
finished when he came back.
Oh, was that right? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
When he came back from the service, then he went to Lincoln and finished and got his degree.
So he just got out of service when he went to work for this.
No, he just got out of college.
I mean, out of college.
Yeah.
He went to work for this oil station.
Yeah, went to work for
Yeah.
Continental Oil
Yeah.
as a management trainee. And they sent him up to Wyoming to learn the basic rudiments of the business, oil drilling, etc. And they'd come back from a day's training, I guess, and they were in a pickup, and the pickup steering mechanism broke, and the pickup flipped.
He was in the back end.
He was in the back,
Three of
yeah.
them were in the front seat.
And he was thrown clear, but the pickup landed on him, and he was killed instantly. And I remember getting that news.
Oh boy, that
Was a shock.
was a breaker.
Took me a long time to get over that.
Mother too.
Long time. But Don lived 23 years, and he had a great life. He was well liked. As a matter of fact, my last class reunion, I had a girl come up from Don's class. And this would have been 57, 67, 77, 87, about 35 years after his death. This girl come up to me and wanted me to know, she told me how much she and the classmates had loved our brother Don, and that she herself still prays for him every day. I thought that was an oversight girl.
Darlene?
Yeah, I think it was Darlene.
Oh, big Darlene.
And that was very meaningful to me. She said he meant so much to his friends. Yeah, it was a shock. It was a hard one to get over, but we who believe know that he's still alive. And we wait for the day where we can embrace once again. Through the grace of Jesus. Amen. You gotta preach a little.
no, yeah. we didn't give you the pulpit, Gordon. We're just sitting in the kitchen doing this tape.
So other than that, I can't think of much more we didn't cover. Mom always kept the home fires burning for us. While she was alive, she lived to be 92.
She was in the hospital.
In the
went
nursing
to the
home.
hospital. Yeah, the nursing
Yeah.
home.
And
The last how many years? Last
three,
three.
I think 3 years. She was in the nursing home in Ord. She got progressively worse, but I think most of all she just kind of gave up last year or two.
Well, you call that old age.
Yeah,
Retired.
that's old age. It's time for everything.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's time to just let go. But her side of the family had the beautiful longevity
Long
lines.
livers. Look at Uncle John. Was
Uncle
he?
John was 94, 96.
Yeah, I think so. Driving a car from North Loop to
Yeah,
Ord every day.
worked every day.
To see
Smoked
it- to see
smoked
it.
heavy until he Oh, I'd say until he was maybe 70 years old. He was a hard worker, farmer. Your other brother, Glenn, I think probably lived into his 80s. We didn't know much about him. Her sisters, I think lived in their 80s.
Bertie.
And Bertie was at least in her 80s.
Summer.
Lydia
Oh,
was a sister.
Yes, that's right.
So they had good lines on that side of the family.
Yeah.
On the other side of the family,
we die young.
yeah, we die young on my father's side.
Mm.
I know when I had my heart attack, my doctor asked me about my family's health history, and I told him. He says, "Well, let's hope you're a little heavy on your mother's genes."
Yeah, from 52 to 92.
Yeah.
40 years.
Yep. I think my father's parents were in their early 60s when they died, and I'm not sure that they both died of heart attacks.
And I thought it was diabetes.
Well, I'm pretty sure the father died of a heart attack. I think I read that, or somebody told me that. But Dad had a lot of health problems.
Mm-hmm.
He had diabetes, he had
Angina
tuberculosis when he was young.
Angina pectoris.
Well, yeah,
Right.
that's a heart
Yeah.
disease. And he just had a lot of health problems. I don't know if he was gassed over in France or not. But I remember talking to several veterans years ago with their wives, and they said that gassing over in France in World War I was a terrible thing to experience because it just kept lingering and lingering and lingering on.
Like our orange disease or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Dad smoked quite a lot. Pipes and cigars. Which was common in those days. I don't think he inhaled too much. And I don't think he got the proper exercise
Like they do nowadays.
like they do now.
Well, he walked back and forth to the
Yeah,
house
he
and
walked
drugstore
back and
every
forth.
day.
That was about it as far as I can remember. So that brings us up pretty much to date, I think.
Have fun. Whoopee.
Yeah. We hope this helps. Anyone who hears this or interested, we hope it sheds some light, because I personally felt a little guilty that I haven't told my sons more about their family life. And I know Bill, our one son, was very much interested in our family tree. But like I said, we'll try to get a little more information by what we know is still available, and add on anything that we feel is pertinent.
So till then,
Yeah, till then, hope you enjoy it. We've enjoyed discussing it.
yes.
It's kind of brought back a lot of memories to us.
Yes.
And we also learned a lot from each other that we didn't know before. So it may be a lesson to all who hear this. Whatever you can recall about your family, why, let somebody know. Okay, well, we'll sign off then.